Right, everybody, welcome to Wednesday. And today we've got Jeremy Harding here to speak to us. So show your appreciation. Yes, he's a very busy man at the moment and outstanding contributor to global music travelling around the world, ending up Japan, New Zealand, Antarctica. The sounds of these rhythms that he's been making in Jamaica are just turning up everywhere, and it's great that he's taken time out to come and talk to us today. So cheers, thanks for that.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I don't know if you want to start with some music or if you want to...
Sure, I played, I don't know, about like 5 or 6 things. Some stuff I produced, some I engineered on and mixed. And hopefully you guys are familiar with most of it.
Yes, now. Cool now. Who am I? Just the girl, them sugar. All right. Yeah, now. Oh, na, 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 oh, na, 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 na. Sissima. Who am I? Some of them. Who am I? The girl, them sugar. Oh, na, make love to a fella in your lost in the east. Who am I? The girls, them love. And I make love to pressure. You will pop up again with deep like a bucket. Drop in your degree like your degree, you are switching. Drop in your answer like a book, you wanna chop it. Drop in your big answer like a book, you wanna dig it. It's like a riverside up on the bank in your take it. It's like a bicycle, so you want it, that. Tell you watch it, so you scratch it. She and you say you grab it. Girl, she a beg you wanna ball, take it, stop it. Ball man plug in and you move like a electric. It's like a basketball, she take time out, she ball it. You listen to me silent, you listen to me lyrics. I mean the man, they a be a drop it. I said, sing.
Yo, you say she request it? Yeah man, let's see a bit.
She can't get away.
Could never. Give it to her hard.
More we need.
You know, time to mention the band. Listen up.
She said she wanted that. She said she needed.
Yeah.
She said she loved that. Give it to her, please. She said she wanted that. She said she needed. Don't you keep her waiting. Give it to her, please. Man, I love more. You love some more. Talk to them about them. Talk to them about floor. Them know the score. You can't ignore. Nobody better play no more.
Man, I'm hungry. Get a heart to me. And shift me walk from tree to tree. It will run down me service is free. Now me like to walk. We have to get up on the finger breeze.
She said she wanted it. She said she needed. She said she loved it. Give it to her, please. She said she wanted it. She said she needed. Don't you keep her waiting. Give it to her, please.
No escape. Woman no fun like idea. I come around you. Let up the sound. Where are these man? Where are these? I kept it in the last back of the bed. Woman, stand on.
Number one. What's that? tape. Down low, my digital voice screen. Automatic widescreen. Low rider with the monkey IB. A bad freak, now that's he named Ming Ling. It all sweet, the man street with full swing. For my brothers like Devin G.E. to sing. A song, a dance hall king. The track like a puppet on a string.
Mama said that them was in the time they come around her. Them who want this them off it time they take it down them off it see I'm on the ground up my one of this a clown up. Some of them just them a belong up. You will come and see my practice time and come and take over me down up. See my time to take it them like it and them on up. Them the kind of thing they kind of hurt me come as down up. So me turn them in a arg and down and let's keep on a place to Barcelona with Fiona and Iona. Smoking on the corner of Rona. One of them gyal a run from the soda. One a pour a club soda. Crossing on the flight controller. Tell them on top of the game and say number one. Nobody can walk and play. Champion. We tell them again and again. Number one. We ready to judge and it's champion. On top of the game and say number one. Nobody can walk and play. Champion. We tell them again and again. Number one. We ready to judge and it's champion. It's all about yeah. Tuesday. I tell them how we got Tuesday. Sexy girl when we Tuesday. I know we ain't losing. Cruising in the job shop, feeling in the ride. Checking on the fat girl living on my side. Pull up to the hot spot, girl left to right. Touch one of them and tell her, say tonight if it's in it on right away. Never delay, just give me the play. And I'll run when they give me that time of day. I won't make sure you okay. Woman, if it's in it on right away. Never delay, just give me the play. And I'll run when they give me that time of day. I won't make sure you okay. Me buck up on a hot girl factory. Me know me up the ring to the girl. Them a rock to the girl. Them a sling to the girl. Them a top me heart is a sing. I forget the one with the round and same thing. Y'all a bump on the right side. On the left, y'all a shake up the backside. And all the rest to the nose to the chest. Y'all a relieve the chest. Need one of them before me get this. Just sing it on right away. Never delay, just give me the play. And I'll run when they give me that time of day. I'm gonna make sure you okay. Woman, if it's in it on right away. Never delay, just give me the play. And I'll run when they give me that time of day. I'm gonna make sure you okay. Calling all wild out squadron, come report to duty. Sexy ladies with the beauty, come shake that booty. Yeah, girl. Rock one. Miami ladies. Rock one. NYC girl. Rock one. LA ladies. Yo, pass me the night, yo, make me get hype out. Y'all day enough, give me one for the night, yo. DJ give the mix them tight, yo. Energy and Red Bull make me get psycho. Dancing, cause we don't polite, yo. Feel it amongst them, left and me right, yo. Make the girls get high like a kite, yo. One thing me want you to right now. Y'all move, what you waiting for? Walk is the tent and a fat girl on the dance floor. Do you think, cause you know you're secure? Y'all just rock out, cause you're out to the core, yo. Move, what you waiting for? Walk is the tent and a fat girl on the dance floor. Do you think, cause you know you're secure? Y'all just rock out, cause you're out to the core, yo. Rock what? UK girl. Rock what? African girl. Rock what? Boricua. Yo.
That's it.
And it's a good, that's, you know, hearing a collection of productions like that, and it's just, it may be interesting just to work out how you came to music in the first place, like when you were young, and, you know, because I know that you haven't always been pursuing this career as a producer in dancehall music.
I started off in Kingston. I'm from Jamaica. I'm born in Kingston, born and raised. Started off as a kid going to enrolling in music school, a traditional music school, and did choir lessons and played guitar and little productions that I have on stage when you're a little kid. This is like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, 13 years old. Took an interest in guitar, and at that point in time was convinced I was going to be a great rock guitarist, the next Hendrix. So did that, wanted to go to MIT Music Institute in California side. Parents said no, you're going to go to boarding school first. I said okay, fine. So I went to boarding school in Ottawa, in Canada. did 2 years of that. I said, okay, now MIT. They're like, no, you're going to go to university. So I moved to Quebec, to Montreal. I went to McGill University and enrolled to do chemical engineering. All this time I was still thinking one day I'm going to be this great guitar player. End up in Montreal. Montreal had a very vibrant club scene. This is like 88, 89, somewhere around there. A very vibrant club scene in Montreal. This was just about the time when you had like the whole UK like soul to soul movement, and that music was coming across, right? And got involved in that whole club scene. Started hanging out at clubs, chatting to DJs, wanted to know the music that they played. Of course, you couldn't buy it on a CD in a shop. So me and a friend of mine who was from New York, we ended up going to the import record shop and started buying all these import 12 inches from the UK. Started off with the kind of harsher stuff, first like Ministry and Nitzer Ebb and like this kind of music. And we used to buy a lot of these 12 inches. And then as the more mainstream house music came along, we used to just buy the records and make tapes for ourselves in the dorm room. We figured out on campus at McGill that they had, some sound equipment for when they had frat parties. So we went, opened the storeroom, threw out all these boxes. There's like 1,200 sitting on top of each other in a mixer. We're like, what the fuck? So we grabbed this stuff, took it into the room, so we started making tapes. So my friend now, he's from New York, Jewish kid from Manhattan, and he was like really into like, Tribe Called Quest and Native Tongues and Black Sheep and like, Red Alert and like all this kind of music. So, and of course I had all this reggae stuff on my reggae tapes, and, which I used to bring back from Jamaica. So we started DJing on campus together, playing frat parties. And eventually we got a radio show on the college radio station. So CKUT 90.3 FM in Montreal. Which in Montreal it was really more than just the college station. It was like the only real urban station in the whole city. Because it's French and it's Quebec, and so all the stations were very Canadian content, French music that had to play. So the only place to hear like hip hop or dancehall music or reggae or dance music was really on that college station. So we did that radio station for like about, 3-4 years. By this time now, I realized that there was a music production school in Montreal called Trebas Institute. So I dropped out of McGill. It's very easy to drop out of university. It's very hard to get in, to get out, it's very easy. You walk in like, hi, I'd like to withdraw. They say, okay, thank you. They take your card and they say goodbye, right? So I left, of course, my parents were ecstatic about that move, right? So I left and I went to this music production school while I was DJing at the clubs. I started to learn about, MIDI and keyboards and sequencers and all this type of thing. I got a real interest in there. Of course, by now, I'd sold the guitar and bought a new Mark mixer at 1,200. So, my whole path was changing at that point. Started working in the club, started DJing. So we're playing house music, we're playing reggae music. So what two audiences really. We'd play like black music and we'd play like the dancehall and the reggae stuff at the black clubs. And then we'd also play like the house clubs, like in the whole Montreal gay house music vibrant scene. There's two types of music. So eventually reached a point in Montreal in that dance music culture where if you weren't French, you weren't white, and you weren't gay, then there was a ceiling that it stopped right here. So no matter how good a DJ you were, I wasn't French, I didn't speak French, I wasn't white, I wasn't gay. So my progress as a DJ in that scene got stunted very quickly because they knew I could play music at a radio show, but you just didn't fit in to their scene or their culture. You're still a foreigner, you don't even speak the language, Yeah, you're a cool black guy, but you're not even a gay black guy, or it just didn't really work for them at that point. So I kind of ended up going more into the black music and concentrating on playing the reggae and the hip hop and stuff like that. The show was called Native Tongues, and it was like that was our whole focus of doing this show together. So of course at this point I was convinced I was going to be a DJ, and that was it. So no new calling in life, no more guitar. I'm going to be a DJ, and I'm going to remix and do this and do that and produce hip-hop acts and all this kind of stuff. Found some local rap talent in Montreal and started a little clique of production where I was producing these kids and I had a radio show and I also played at clubs. So they'd come to my house and we'd make demos and I could play them on the radio. So it was like a big, it felt like they're in the hands of like a big producer. They could hear the stuff on the radio. And then every big rap act that came to Montreal would get them to open up. You understand? So my whole roster was like, they had the baddest producer, he had the baddest radio show, and they were opening for all the acts, and everything was, kind of grooving along that path. Of course, after a while, it boils down to like, well, you're still broke because you're DJing like once, twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. You're getting paid like, I don't know, 80, 100 Canadian dollars, you know what I'm saying? A week sometimes. You still have to pay rent, you have to eat, you have to buy records. You're a DJ now, you have all these expenses coming up. So it wasn't really too working out. I moved to Toronto for 1 year because at the time everybody convinced me that Toronto had this big musical scene happening, you know, with all these rap artists that were getting these hits in Canada and this whole type of thing. Moved there for 1 year. And after about a year being in Toronto, I just realized that I don't think there's anything there for me anymore in Canada. I think I reached a certain point where like, this stuff is so local, it's not really going to go much further than this. Went back to Jamaica, and had a friend of mine who I knew from school days who started working for an advertising agency. He said, have you ever made like jingles, like adverts for radio or television? I said, well, you know, when those guys used to throw parties, we used to make like the ads for the parties, like, you know, what's happening at which club or whatever. I mean, but I never tried it before. He said, okay, fine. So he started giving me jingle work and coaching me to make jingles. So then now I turned into a jingle producer. So I'm making jingles for like, you know, the banks and like, you know, some kind of fruit drink or whatever product, you know, that was available. It was paying a rent, it was good money. So in doing jingles, I had a younger brother who started to get involved in a sound system in Jamaica, right? A crew of DJs. And now I had this studio because I brought back the gear which I had, right, from Montreal. I set up a small studio. So he says, well, listen, can we use the studio to do like, you know, dub plates and record stuff from artists? So I said, sure, no problem. So he started bringing, you know, artists over, you know, Cabra, Buccaneer, Capleton, Beanie Man, I think at the time like Don Hughes, like the reggae guys at the time. So they come over and we start cutting dubs. We didn't have the lacquer to cut the dubs, but we recorded to that. You understand? And the sound system would take their DAT and they'd go press the dubs. So I'm still convinced now that I'm going to be a hip-hop producer. It's just a matter of time, right? Because I'm just, you know, doing this to pay the bills. So eventually he says to me, you know, we should try and do like a production, a dancehall reggae production. So I said, okay, I never thought about producing dancehall. I never tried to produce dancehall. So my approach to producing dancehall was like how a hip-hop producer produces hip-hop. So I had a S950 sampler, I had my sequencer, and I started by thinking like, all right, let me put on this record. Okay, that's a cool sound right there. Whoop, let me sample that sound. Let me sample this, let me sample that. So the whole approach to it, I was thinking like a hip-hop producer, like sampling bits and pieces from various things and putting it together. Whereas typical reggae dancehall production is not like, it's more musician-based. You understand? A guy comes in and plays a keyboard, a guy hooks up a bass, he starts playing. But I was thinking like a hip-hop producer. So we did a couple of rhythms, and the second one was where we did Beanie Man, Who Am I? Sim Simo. So that worked really well. That record came out. I think I remember the morning when I felt that I'd done something. David Rodigan called me from London, right? Rodigan, famous, infamous reggae DJ. He called me, he's like, you know, may I speak to Jeremy Harding, please? And I was like speaking, he said, hi, this is David Rodigan. And I was like, holy fuck. I was like, hey, Rodigan. He said, do you know what you've done? You've got a massive hit over here in the UK with Beanie Man. It's taking off, you know, it's amazing, incredible. And he's like gassing me up on the phone. So I'm like, man, this thing is really something special. And that was kind of like the start. I think when I reached that point, then I kind of realized, well, I guess now I'm a dancehall reggae producer. So I'm not going to be a rock guitarist. I stopped DJing. I'm not going to make jingles anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm a dancehall reggae producer. And then from there, we just went into it full steam and just started producing and, you know, getting involved in the whole dancehall scene in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the right place at the right time, but you didn't really expect to end up doing this.
Yeah, I think it was just like a path. You understand? But everything led up to something else. Like I think, like the DJing got me into club culture and understanding DJing in the club and playing on the radio and understanding how DJs like records to be made for them. You understand? And then learning the production side of it now and put that with the DJing and how to produce led me to produce the way that I produce. Like it's all a progression. I think everything helped up to the, you know what I mean? Like up to even last year, I still had my DJ stuff set up in the studio, even though I don't DJ anymore, but it's such a part of me. I need to have my Vestax, my 21200s just there, even when I'm making music, if I'm not DJing, but something just tells me that you need to refer back to this because you're making music for the street and for the clubs. So I press my own little 45s and come home and put it on and boom and play it and say, yeah, all right. Just cue up this one and play that one and feel like, yeah, I made the records right because I can play them, so I understand how, you know what I mean? So it was still always a point of reference.
So yeah, an understanding of where it's going to be going, where this music's going to be going. But like, you were away from Jamaica for a number of years there, like, and it seems like you got a perspective that on the island's music in a way, like from outside that you brought back, or?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think a lot of the comments I made about the music at IDO, a lot of people hear it and say, you know, it doesn't sound like the regular dancehall stuff out of Jamaica. You know what I mean? It sounds like it has a hip-hop thing to it, sometimes maybe a dance music thing to it. You know what I mean? Like the record I played here earlier, the Devante and Tanta Metro with the auto-tune thing on the voice, right? The Cher effect. I mean, that was me reading a magazine. Oh, you know when Cher did, do you believe in love after love? And I did that to the voice, and I read how they did it. I said, oh, let me do it. So I went and did it on a dancehall record. It blew everybody's mind. They're like, how did you do this? It's the most incredible. You understand? And then like 5 other producers did it on their records for like the last 3, 4, 5 years afterwards. And it's like killed it. And I blame myself for that. You know what I mean? My apologies for all those reggae records with that fucking auto-tune thing. Overkill it, you know what I mean? But it's just taking influences and trying to say, all right, I can take this and make this part of reggae or part of dancehall. Why not? My scope is different. I'm from Jamaica, but I'm a musician. I can play a guitar. I know music. I've played in bands, but I've also DJ'd in clubs and on the radio, so I know what that's like too. And now I'm making the music, you understand, behind the glass. So it's just bringing all of those things together into your approach.
And so you're still playing music on your productions? You still play the guitar on there or anything like that?
No, actually, I've kind of put the guitar into like my hobby side of music and then put, you understand? Maybe sometimes you can kind of bring it together. But I mean, you know, I was playing guitar and like into like, you know, Hendrix and Van Halen and Robert Johnson and Clapton and Jimmy. That I haven't found out how that integrates into dancehall quite as yet, you understand? So that's kind of like a separate thing. I'll go home and fool on the guitar, read the magazine or the tab or figure out a solo and then put that down and say, okay, studio, time to make reggae. Because it's, you understand, it's a separate discipline to me, you know what I mean?
So I mean, in that time that you were away, I mean, did the country change a lot when you came back? Or, I mean,
Well, you know, I was still coming home for vacations. So I was coming home at Easter, coming home at Christmas. So I'd come home, I'd go to the record shop, I'd load up on my 45s because, you know, I had this radio show to support. So I had to make sure to come to Jamaica, get all the new music, so I could run back up to Montreal and be like, this is all the new stuff in Jamaica, which would take them months to catch up to anyway. So I was still kind of keeping in touch with what was happening. I wasn't really that far, you know, out of the loop. And my friend would go to New York and bring back the hip-hop same way, you know what I mean? So that's how we used to run it.
And so what about technology in this, like, could you see technology changing the music culture of Jamaica during that time? Or?
During that time, it didn't really change. It changed radically, I would say, in the last 6 years. From about 98, 99. That's when the change started to take effect. During that time, we're still talking about everything is 2-inch tape, everything is big analog mixing boards. Very old school way of making records. Akai MPC, drum machines, but everything else would be like live on top. So like, you know, I've sat in sessions with like Sly Dunbar, like Sly and Robbie, and their whole way of working, I mean, like Sly would build up the drum track and like they lay it down to tape and then everything else gets played live. Like they don't sequence past just the drums or what they're doing, you understand? So Robbie will come in and play bass live, you know what I mean? And the keyboardist or Lenky or whoever they were using at the time, they'd play live the whole length of the song, 4 minutes, just play it down, play it down, play it down, and they keep adding and stacking. And that's the manner in which they make it. But the way in which those guys used to make music, I mean, when I came back to Jamaica and started going to studios and seeing them, and I remember once I walked to a session with Michael Rose from Black Uhuru doing a song, right? This is Sly and Robbie now at Mixing Lab. So, of course, I'm like, okay, Sly and Robbie, reggae Grammy winners, legends, Black Uhuru, reggae legends. Let me see how these guys work. So you walk in the studio and Mixing Lab, you can't say anything because it's full of weed smoke, right? So it's like this. And there's guys lined up on the wall like this, all these rastas, all these dreads, like stay so, like rolling weed and stay so on. You know what I mean? The whole place is like that. The engineer is there, he has a TV monitor and he's watching like fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark or something like this, casually. Like there's a tape machines beside him. And like Robbie is sitting there and he's like, oh, you ready? All right, cool. Press record. You're watching the TV. And Robbie is there. And then Robbie's like, yo, hold on, stop. Let me take out my gun. All right, ready again. And the guy's, hey, ready? Hey, press the thing. He's like this. And Robbie's like, like playing his thing. He's like that. About 10 guys that have nothing to do with the session, but just to smoke weed in the studio. Obviously, they're just sitting there and they're smoking and puffing and going on. And you know, Michael Rose is sitting in the corner like this, and he's kind of watching Indiana Jones thing. And you know, I'm looking at the speakers. They have like a pair of NS10s, and of course, the tweeters are blown long time. So they have these little car, those little square tweeters you put in the car boxes, like piezo tweeters. So they have them stuck in a round holes with tape, right, on the thing. I'm looking at the board. All the meters are just like this red. Everything is peaking, totally. And like, this is frightening. This is 2 Grammy winners, eh? This time Sly and Robbie and Michael Rose from Black Huro. And that's how them guys made music. You understand? The volume is ridiculous. I have the big JBL horn boxes like in the wall, and it's cranked like you can't hear nothing, you can't see nothing. The engineer is watching cable, whatever. And it's amazing. But you know the fun, like when it's all said and done, when you hear about the track and you're just like, bomba clot, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And Michael Rose is there belting. You'd never know, but that's the way which them guys, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole attitude.
So vibe is the thing.
Yeah, that's how they had to have it. And like all the guys in there smoking the weed are basically the guys giving you the feedback. Cause like they're there like, yeah man, wicked. Go on, yeah man, slide that bud, murder. And they're like there and they're like, yeah, you like that? Yeah man, wicked. You know what I mean? There's Robert Shakespeare, he has like his fucking SIG 9mm on the desk. It's like, and this guy's making music, you know what I mean? But it worked for them. It worked for them.
And so your studio's a bit like that as well?
No. I think, you see what happened was that after that whole period went through, when the whole computer generation caught up to Jamaica late, right? And then all these kids started realizing that, yo, I could get a PC or whatever, get a program and record all this stuff at my house. So the shift started to happen away from those big studios to smaller studios at producers' houses. Because part of the problem, part of the reason why you had so much talent emerging, and also part of the problem with why the growth was difficult, was that the way those studios worked, you know, like if you're at Mixing Lab or Penthouse Records, like where Budgie Banton and those guys were, you have the studio, you have the perimeter, you have the gate. Everybody's trying to be an artist, everybody's trying to be a DJ, so they congregate in the yard, they're hanging out by the gate, all these wannabe artists. So the producers and the engineers would be making beats, making tracks, and they're recording stuff, and they'd basically just kind of look outside and say, I wonder who is out there. Yo, come here. Let me hear you. And the guy would come, and he sit on his shoulder, and he go, brrr. He's like, all right, no, you come here. And then he come and say, all right, I like that. And they kind of pick people that way. So all of those artists were picked, like they're just dudes hanging out at the gate every day and just refuse to go away. You understand? So like when Dave Kelly and those producers were working at Penthouse, you understand? And Penthouse at the time was doing like Bob Andy and Marcia Griffiths and those kind of reggae records. And there's like this little kid outside called himself Bojo. And Dave said, all right, come here, let me listen to you. You know what I mean? And Bojo come in there and, you know, I say, big it up, girl, you know your body ride a murder. And he'd say, yeah, that bad. You know, me love my car, me love my bike, me love my money and thing. And he'd record him. And like a lot of these other artists all, so that's how you found the artists. But at the same time, it doesn't really make well for developing artists because every day that's all you're doing. Basically, you're running auditions and talent shows and you don't have any time to sit down and say, okay, these are the 2 artists I'm working with, everybody else please leave. So the more modern producers now, younger guys would have their own home studios, that can't work, obviously. We cannot have, you understand, 30 guys at the gate, like every day. They live in a residential area, they can't, so the whole thing is different. So it's a lot more closed circuit. And they start dealing with computers and hard drives. And well, before they got there, they were doing like ADAT and Tascam D88 digital tape and smaller formats. And then eventually when they got to the whole, so their process might be a little bit different. There's not so many hangers on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's still very much like different people work differently. You understand? Like I personally, I prefer to just do my stuff on my own, and then when it's finished, I'll make everybody hear it. If I don't like it, I just trash it, whatever. I don't really rely on like a room full of 10 people. Because what starts to happen is that the more popular you get more yes men around you. You understand? So any rubbish you do, a guy's like, yo, wicked, that bad, you're the boss, murder, and it just filling up your head. And you're sitting there like, I don't really like it though. You know what I mean? And you're making them tell you. So to me, I just prefer to work alone, like on the tracks and stuff like that. And as far as the recording the artists are concerned, some artists want to be private. They don't want the feedback. You understand? Some guys like Vibes Cartel, Cabra, like these guys they come alone. They don't want a whole heap of people there. They just want to work on their song with just you and them, and that's it. When it's finished, they're going road. Other people travel with this whole big entourage. Like you ever try and record like Capleton, you have like 10 guys that have to roll with him. Have to. It's like he can't come by himself. You know what I mean? Beanie Man used to come with like 5, 6 guys like that, you know, because they need their boys around them to support them. And also, there's a lot of ghostwriters in dancehall and in reggae. Like you read the credits, oh yeah, this song is done by Capleton. It was written by 3 other guys. This song was done by Beanie Man. Yeah, but it wasn't written by Beanie Man. It was written by Future Troubles. It was written by Gringo or some other artist that he's hanging around with. And so the artist carried part of this entourage. You know, Vibes Cartel used to write songs for Bounty Killer. So he used to be one of Bounty Killer's little guys following Bounty everywhere. And they have a rhythm. And he'd say, yo, Cartel, listen to this rhythm. And he'd be like, yo, give him. And Killer say, yeah, all right, ready. You know what I'm saying? And he go in the studio, yeah, right, and do his thing. And like you say, oh, Killer, you're wicked, but the guys are ghostwriters. Because we don't have a formal system of like publishing and the radio station paying royalties and all that shit. So basically, those guys be writing for them, they take care of them. So they carry them to the club, they buy them drinks, they buy them liquor, they need something for their car, new pair of rims, they do a show abroad in New York, they come back and say, yo, hold this chain, hold this pair of shoes. So they're taken care of, so they're rolling with the big man. And they're really ghostwriters. Elephant Man has them, Beanie Man, almost every artist in Jamaica has all these kind of ghostwriters. And you'll see like Capleton, like the people around him used to write songs with him, like, you know, Ja Thunder and all these other cats. And, you know, Bascom X used to write for Frisco Kid. Like, and some of them rise as artists in their own right. Some never do. Some are just good writers and they don't really have the voice to be an artist. So that's another reason why the entourage has to come, because they're building, we call it just building vibes, right? And we'll say like, yeah man, we'll go studio and build our vibes. It just means let's listen to the music and let's try and get this thing written. It's not like a formal. So to build our vibes could be anything from writing it to just they're smoking weed together, or they're just drinking, or they're cracking jokes, or they're exchanging stories. You know what I mean? So that's very important for them. If they don't like you if the artist doesn't like you as a producer, you can sit down and build our vibes with them.
I mean, that's why the music is translating, or has always, like, I'm going back, like, way back to the Jamaican music's been traveling the world, you know, for 40 years in different ways, and that community style of making music, it seems like there are a lot of people involved. It's a lot of collaborations going on, collaborations that you can't really, you know, maybe write down, because, yeah, there's a ghostwriter working or something, or there's someone might be copying someone else or something like that, but you know, there's something deep in that music because everyone's getting involved in it. But I'm just wondering, like, because when you're selling a record in Jamaica, that's not where your main source of income's coming from as an artist, is it? I mean,
no, the artists make money off of dub plates or the specials which they record for the sound systems, or they make money off of shows.
Shows like
live
actual,
shows,
yeah.
right? That's where they make their source of income from, not the actual sale of the records. Because we don't, like a hit record in Jamaica, like them 45s, like I see these guys have right here, a hit 45 record is going to sell 6,000 copies. And they're selling for like 50-something Jamaican dollars, which is like 80 cents US or something. By the time you cut that down to what the artist would make off of 6,000 copies, peanuts, a couple $100 US. So forget that, they're not even trying to pay royalties to people or anything. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. You understand? So that's a hit record sale. But the thing is that the 6,000 copies probably were purchased by 6,000 sound system guys throughout the world, you understand? So you have guys across Europe and the whole United States and everywhere, and Japan playing this record and making it popular. So you get a call for the show. So they call Jamaica and be like, yo, we need a show with Beanie Man, how much you charge? And be like, you know, 15,000 US, no problem, boom, send them the tickets, you understand? So they're touring constantly and doing a lot of shows all over the place, because the output of records, if you're a traditional, you know, rap artist, R&B, anybody, you do an album, And you do that album, you promote the single, you put out the video, you do the next single, the next video, and the album goes for like a year, whatever. You do a tour in the summer for 3 months, you take a little time out, you make a next album. Jamaican artists, these guys are recording 3-4 singles a week. You understand what I'm saying? So by the time you're into 4 months, they have like 40 songs, some of them. Like Elephant Man, Sizzler, you should see how these guys work. I seen Sizzler record 6 songs a night. Like working for like Don Corleone and these producers, and like those albums, literally 6 songs. You don't come to your studio, you better don't have just 1 track. You're wasting this time. You know what I mean? The guys come in like, I want 6 tracks. No, boom, first track, and rip through it. Next one, rip through it, rip through it, rip through it. So the amount of work that they're doing, you understand, that the turnover is so constant that they always have like, 10, 15 songs out there, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them are hits in the dancehall community, so they can constantly be doing shows. That's what they're making their money. Producers make money by licensing the tracks to the companies that put out the compilations. VP Records, Greensleeves Records, Jetstar, you understand? So they license them, and then you guys go and buy Reggae Gold, Strictly the Best, Raga Raga, Greensleeve Sampler, like all of that, those reggae compilations. That's where the producers make their money. You understand? So it's a very different system, like how to traditional means of making money off of records.
So it's just common, just because I mean, there's still, the music's still getting around over there. It's just like bootlegging and illegal kind of copying CDs and.
It's a part of the problem is, I think people in Jamaica think that the music is them and belongs to them. You understand? They don't think they should have to pay for the music. They figure we're in Jamaica, these are Jamaicans, it's our music. So if a guy record a song, I'm going to go to the stage show or the club, love the song, I'm going to go to the stage show and go touch and blah, 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 and make up noise for him, and the song should be mine. So I just beg somebody the CD. Why would I have to buy it? No, I don't have to buy that. I'll go and buy Usher's album or R. Kelly's album, because they're not from Jamaica and they're R&B acts and they're big stars and they're on MTV. I'll purchase their record, but I'm not going to buy Bounty. Why do I need to buy Bounty Killer's album? I see him every day. I see him on the road. Oh, Killer, what go on? Yeah, my youth, what's up? So the whole mentality is like, they think it's their right. Like, you know what I mean? So they don't buy the music. And then worse now when you get into the downloading thing. I mean, we have guys on websites that are selling music. And we're contacting them like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, we're promoting your artist. Like, dude, you're not promoting the fucking artist. You're robbing me. What are you doing? You're selling the music online. Where's this money going to? You know what I mean? A guy's making mix CDs. Yeah, we're promoting your artist. Dude, you're not promoting. You're selling like 20,000 copies of your mix CD with like 6 of my artist songs on there. And then, when I go to my compilation comes back and I only sell 10,000 copies. So you're cutting it right from under me. But they don't get it. They think, what's the big deal? It's a mix CD. You say, yeah, but this is not hip-hop where you could sell 50,000, 100,000 mixed CDs or whatever, because Jay-Z's going to sell 6 million. So Jay-Z doesn't care about you understand? To them, it's really a promotion. Sure, DJ Clue mixed CD. Yeah, let's do some, because we want to get out in the street. Because my major label record deal is going to afford me to sell millions of records. And I can do big tours and have big endorsements and have Reebok shoes and whatever. So they're not worried about those guys. The Jamaican guys are like, but your mixed CD sales, I can't sell my normal CD. You understand what I'm saying? So, or the web or the downloading, the MP3 trading, so it's very difficult. That's why they have to hustle so much to find all these ways to make money to keep it going.
So like, MTV has had a big impact then on the local scene. I mean, is that because that's a recent? How long has it been in?
You know what happened? Everybody started. People in Jamaica got cable television in about 97, 98.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So before that, the only people that could watch MTV or BT were like kids that could afford a satellite, whatever DSS system or whatever. A very small percentage of kids, right? So once you get cable, which basically started as illegal cable anyway in Jamaica. It started like a bunch of businessmen have a building, get a big satellite dish, throw it on a roof, have a receiver, and they say, yeah, and split off a signal and feed a whole community and charge them, you understand? So that's going on for years until the US FCC, where it's like, no, you can't just buy one subscription for like HBO, Cinemax, and then just feed 200 people on the road and charge them money. What are you doing? So they're putting regulations, but the point being was that it sprung up so much. So now all these kids, even if you're an uptown middle class kid or you're a ghetto kid, you had a TV, you had cable. So now everybody's like, oh fuck, BT, MTV. And now they could see it, now they could get this information. So it started to affect how everybody was making music and what the DJs were DJing about and like how they dress and everything, and they latched onto the culture. And they had language barriers at first. They couldn't really understand, like, you know, West Coast rap, Snoop Dogg and how they talk and all the slang, but they could understand the attitude because it was the same perspective. They're like, oh, you know what I mean, I get this. Particularly gangster rap music took to Jamaica really, really well, and even now those kids still love that kind of rap music more. So like, yeah, the Tribe Called Quest and the rate, no, that doesn't really, they're not interested in that side of hip hop, you know what I mean? They like Snoop Dogg, they like Dre, they like 50 Cent, they like, you know what I mean, or some down souths, they like Paul Wall or the Grills, and they like, you understand, the hardcore hip hop because it mirrors their culture.
Yeah.
Hip-hop mirrored dancehall culture, reggae culture in the beginning. So this is exchange constantly going on between the two cultures. So it really influenced everything, how they dress. I mean, to the point where it's ridiculous. I used to dancehall artists like going on stage wearing like, you know, fucking, you know, North Carolina Tar Heels and like with a cap. And you're like, dude, you don't even know where that is. You don't, you understand? You don't even know what sport that is. You don't follow that team. You don't even know where North Carolina. You never been. What are you doing? But you see, Fabulous is wearing the throwback jersey. You know, he's in the FABOLOUS, and they're watching TV. They're like, yeah, man, Fabulous, I'm a bad rapper, and they want to dress like him. So they get the baseball caps and they do the whole thing, and you know what I mean. So they kind of go through that little cycle where they're exchanging the culture so much that way it has a big effect. And I mean, kids in Jamaica were making songs about drive-bys and shit. You're like, what are you doing, dude? There's no. You know what I mean? We're a violent country, but with drive-bys are not our culture. You understand? Jamaican culture is they want to shoot somebody, they walk straight up to them and say, pussy, boom, and kill them right in their face. They're like, it's an aggressive, it's not like drive-by and poop, 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 and then drive off. No. They want everybody to know. They want to walk up to the dude and be like, yo, pussy, a long time you fuck with me, you know, bomba clot, brop, brop. They want, you understand? So the whole cultural thing, you know what I mean, it's just very different.
So, okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't know. I don't know if I can even understand what it's like to live
Something
in
to be proud
Kingston.
of, about Jamaican culture. But they say that the most warrior-like slaves, right, were dropped off in Haiti and Jamaica. Serious thing, you know.
Yeah.
The tribes in the whole slave trade, they said the most warrior-like slaves were dropped in Jamaica and Haiti.
First stop.
You understand? So those cultures, particularly in the Caribbean, are the most violent, aggressive. It's a serious thing I'm telling you, violent, aggressive cultures, and everything about how they operate affects it. If you go to other places in the Caribbean, Trinidad, Barbados, all these other countries, how they speak is different. They make soca music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They make soca party time now, and they talk like this, you know. Hey man, how you doing, man? And their voices sounds very happy and funny. And Jamaica, yeah, well, go on. Everything is dark and music is slow. They smoke weed. Everybody's like this. And they're happy. They're not upset with you. That's just how they are. They're like, yeah, well, go on. Cool. And they're speaking low tones. And you know what I mean? You go to the carnival parades and you see all the trucks with the floats and ba 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 da ba da da, and the thing and the feathers. Jamaica, the truck, slow. Everybody's like, yeah, don't know. Yeah, man, big up. And everybody's like a bad boy. Everybody's a rude boy. But it's part of the whole culture. And then they're aggressive and they come to the US and they get infamous for being in gangs in New York and then the whole drug trade. And what they say it's really, and then look at Haiti. Haiti's in such turmoil. You understand? Always in turmoil over there in Haiti, and the poor and the class situation and the violence, and it's the same thing. And they really say that in that slave trade, the most warrior, I forget whatever region it is of West Africa, the most warrior-like tribes, they got to Jamaica and Haiti, so okay, you guys get off now. And the happier tribes, they turn to other places. So the warrior guys are sitting down in these islands like brooding for years, and it affects your whole generation. It affects your music. It affects your culture, the food that you eat. Jamaica uses a lot of pepper and hot food, and you understand what I'm saying? That the whole thing changes. You know what I mean? The whole thing changes like that.
Whoa. It's the thing though, because I don't know, dancehall does sound like it's actually channeling something that is quite ancient. There's a pulse to it, but I mean, you can't. I don't know if you know that if you're close to the source, but when you listen to it from far away, it just sounds like music that has just always been beneath the surface that someone's tapped into. But if you go clubbing in Jamaica, you go out at night, or in Kingston, I mean, what, you're just as likely to go to an R&B club, or you're just as likely to go to a hip-hop club, or...
No, all the clubs just play like a mix of music now, and all the DJs now have to play a mix of music. I think there was a time where you had like, you know, Stone Love, and they played that reggae, that's it, dancehall and reggae music. And they played maybe a little bit of other types of music. But nowadays, all the sound systems, all the DJs, they play a mix of everything. But mostly, I mean, dancehall and reggae, a lot of hip-hop, you know what I mean? Some R&B, maybe the edgier kind of R&B stuff. They don't really play much dance. You have a few DJs that specialize in playing dance music, like trance and techno or whatever. But I mean, they have very small followings. And, but that's pretty much what you're gonna hear. You know what I'm saying, if you go. But they all sort of kind of have to be able to mix it up right now. You know what I mean? But you can't have like a hip-hop night at a club. It doesn't work. You have to play dancehall. And if you bring a big hip-hop artist to Jamaica, you have to put dancehall guys on the bill. You understand what I'm saying? Or if you bring an R&B artist, the same thing. Because people won't come. They want to see the artist. You understand? They want to see Usher or whatever, and Little John and Wyclef. But they won't go to see Usher, Little John and Wyclef. If you put Bounty Killer, Elephant Man and Sizzler on it as well, then they'll go. You understand what I'm saying? So you still always have to bring it back to reggae and dancehall. They always want a piece of that in it, no matter what you're doing.
So these dancehall artists, even though they're blowing up in the States and whatnot, I mean, it seems like, yeah, the work they do at home is what's really important for them, for their everyday. The work they do every day is important, rather than moving to New York City or whatever, or staying there.
It just doesn't work, because the culture, it changes too rapidly. You understand? So, I mean, you've had reggae artists out of New York. I mean, you've had like, you know, Mad Lion and Red Fox, and you've had certain guys. I mean, Shaggy pretty much is a New York reggae artist, to be honest with you, you know. He's a kid that left Jamaica and grew up in the whole New York scene, doing that type of thing. I mean, you've had guys like that, but you have limited success. I mean, you know, Shaggy's a whole next thing by himself, but I mean, in general, because the culture changes too fast. So the rhythms change too quickly, the slang change too quickly. You understand? So you can't be like living out of Jamaica like for a year or past. You're trying to write a song and somebody look at you like, and Jamaican kids be like, what is he talking about? We don't do that anymore. We don't dress like that. We're not into that. That's not what the street is. You know what I mean? The language, the talk is so quick, you know what I'm saying? We had this thing like where you used to greet somebody and you do it like this with your fist. You know what I mean? Like, yes. And then all of a sudden it changed into this. I don't know who makes this stuff up, but you just go on the street and somebody goes like this, and then now you have to do this thing with your thumb and do this, and you have to do it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 times. And I tried to ask people like, where the hell does this thing come from? Some guys I said, yeah man, it's a bad man thing, you know, like when you cock the gun with your thumb. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the next guy says, no, it's not that. It's a Rasta thing about, you know, they have this whole Rastafarian thing about like, you know, the Pope is evil and Catholicism and all of this. And they said like he's popping off the Pope's head. I don't know. It's like, you know what I mean? So you don't even really know where it comes from, but I'm saying it just changes so quickly. So like if you're out there and like you're seeing people, and the next one called Lion Paw, where they went like that. So you greet somebody and you did this. And like a next Rasta thing like, yeah, lion paw. And now this thing where they say bless and touch the heart. And so it's all of these expressions that change, and they come out of a lot of it comes out of the Rastafari stuff and just spreads into just general street culture. It's like all the kids in the street say, yo, what go on my youth? Yeah, you don't know. Bless up, Ray. And they speak, and so it changes so quickly. You in New York, Miami, Europe, anywhere, like, oh yeah, I'm a reggae artist, I'm a reggae producer. You don't even know. It's moving so fast, and the expressions, and you know what I mean? It's hard to really keep up, so
they kind of know that they just lose touch, and that's...
Yeah, you can't, it's very easy to just lose touch. Culture just moves so rapidly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just sort of, man, it sounds like a tough environment to live in, but obviously, you know, if you're born there, used to it, you can, I don't know, do you...
Well, just like anywhere else, I mean, you know, people would say New York is a tough environment to live in. I mean, it depends where you're going.
Yeah.
You understand? You know the places where you need to stay out of, or what you're going to get mixed up in. It's the same type of thing. So if you live in Kingston, you live in Jamaica, I mean, look, if you're not a drug dealer and you're not a murderer, not trying to kill people, and you're not hanging out in certain areas, you're not putting yourself into certain situations, you understand? As far as the music is concerned, everything is now moved into uptown Kingston anyway. You don't have to go to the ghetto to these dances anymore. They've all brought it uptown.
Yeah.
So it's all in the nightclubs and it's in the night spots uptown and it's like on the hip strip and it's not like, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So even entry level right now, I want to jump into dancehall music in Jamaica. It doesn't mean you have to make this pilgrimage down into some really bad territory and hang out with the wrong crowd to get the music. You understand? You got 4 or 5 radio stations playing the music. You can go right in the business district uptown. There's the IBM building, the Scotia Bank, this, and then there's a club. And that's the spot for dancehall now. That is it, the club and the security and metal detector, you go like a regular nightclub. I mean, you know what I mean? So,
I mean, what about, is there a competitive nature to the music industry there? I mean, do the producers, you get on with other producers, artists? There seems to be occasionally some problems between artists, but I mean, is that serious or what?
No, let me tell you, it's extremely competitive because everybody feels as though it's a very small pie and they're all trying to get a piece of it.
Yeah.
You understand? I think the newer generation of artists and producers have a better relationship now. And the producers with each other. Like, I'm good friends with a lot of these producers out there, Shams and Don Corleone and Birch and Scott, like all the new reggae producers. If anybody out there follows reggae, read the album credits of new guys, these new people. And I'm friends too with like Steely and Clevie and Slan Robbie. I know I'm not buddies, but I could call them on the phone. I could ask them questions about stuff. The whole thing is different. I think the relationship changed. Early reggae music, the cost that it was to put together a studio. Because remember, we're talking, we need the same studios just like anywhere else in the world to make the records. But we're only selling 5,000 copies, less than $1 each per song. So the cost to put together these studios, how difficult it was, the whole impression that was brought forth is that like I control the studio, I'm the boss, I'm the producer, you're artist, you're nothing. You understand? You should be happy to come and record for me. So the relationship was a lot different. You were the big man. You understand? I am Coxon Dodd, Stereo One. You know, who the fuck is you? Some little artist. I own this big tape machine and this big board. You know what I mean? You should be happy I can let you record anything. When you finish, here, sign this piece of paper. I sign all the rights to this song to Cox and Dodd, all of my publishing, all of my royalties, my firstborn child, everything. You understand? So then these guys have these big cut. Look, not to try and cut up like Cox and Dodd are these guys. I mean, what they did, they were producers the same way. They made good records, but the whole reasoning was a lot different. A lot of them weren't there in the studio making any records. They just owned the place. So these artists never had any choice. You wanted to record, you had to sign that paper, and you had to make your song. The relationship has changed to now, where the artist and the producer, we're on the same level. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go play soccer with Wayne Marshall. Them guys come to my house, we play PlayStation. You understand what I'm saying? He knows I'm the producer and he's the artist. We still have that, but we're friends differently. Like that. It's not this relationship like, oh, I have this big Pro Tools rig and who the fuck is you? And no, it's not. It's a more of a working thing. We're like the same generation. You know what I mean? So I play video games with them, whatever, we go play sports, we can hang out at the club together, we sit and talk shit. And it's like, yo, I have a new track now. Let me hear it. All right, boom, then we'll go in the studio. Then it shifts. Like, okay, you're a producer. Do your thing. Tell me what to do. I'm the artist. I need to take instruction from you. And then when it's all said and done, good. We'll go back in front of the TV. We'll pick up the PlayStation. Yeah, FIFA. Yeah. And we're playing, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that relationship's a lot different. No.
So there's some legal things have changed with publishing and with...
yeah, because everybody understands it now. So nobody's not trying to... You know what I mean, behave that way anymore over things like the publishing and all that. Everybody, you know what I mean, they're more aware. You understand? I build a track, the guy come and do his lyrics, 50% is me, 50% is you. It's like, cut, you know what I'm saying? Some guy play keyboards to me, I give him a little piece of publishing. It's not really like a big issue. We're a lot more knowledgeable to it now. Because in the past, you could do what you want, because the artist wouldn't dare come back and say anything to you. You understand? Nowadays, you try to do something, and the same as come back and be like, yo, what's the deal with the publishing? And be like, what do you mean? What? Because I mean, I saw the thing and Ray, because now it's like, dude, we hang out and play video games all the time. What are you trying to jack me for publishing? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Was before, you're the big heavy producer, the artist is a mouse. You can't come back to you and ask you for money? You kidding me? Impossible. There's no way.
Man.
You know?
And so you've actually been... You know, you've actually got into another side of things, which is actual artist management or managing projects. I mean, do you manage the Sean Paul project or?
I manage Sean. The funny thing about managing Sean is that I never intended to be an artist manager or really to manage him. But when we had found Sean Paul, my brother heard him DJing at like this little outdoors club. and said, yo, my bigger brother just came back from Canada, he has a small studio, you should come by. So my younger brother, Zach, he came to me and he's like, oh, I saw this kid and he sounds like Supercat. I said, really? He said, yeah, he's wicked. He sent to the studio. So Sean came and he DJ'd a few things and he did sound a hell of a lot like Supercat. Like if Sean Paul does a Supercat song for you, you can't believe it. You think he can do it. He has his own style, but back then, living Supercat. You know what I'm saying? So he did it and we thought it was cool. Recorded a song with him, recorded 2 songs with him. So my studio was the first real studio where he had a chance to like just come and work and just be a reggae artist and record. You understand? Because I just thought he had a great sounding voice. On record, Sean was always fantastic. As an individual, yeah, his stage show was weak and you know, he might not really dress the part, he never looked the part, but when you heard him, it was unmistakable. They're like, is that a new Supercat record? No, it must be a Sprague Benz record. It must be, because he had the chops to do it on the record. I kept working with him to reach a point where like my records are coming out with his name and my number. So people start calling my studio and my house. And like Sean would be hanging out and they'd call me like, yeah, I want to go on. Yeah man, the artist Sean Paul, you know, want to book him for a show. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah man, you know, a show in wherever, Miami. This, how much you charge? And I look at Sean and be like, how much you charge for a show? And he'd be like, I don't know. I'd be like, $2,000? Yeah man, no problem. All right, how many people flying? And I was like, yo, can we come with you? And he'd be like, yeah, all right, come. I'm like, okay, I have 2 tickets. And then we'd just go. So I would go and I'd carry the instrumentals, right? And I'd have the tickets. So basically, you know, I'd go and I'd collect the money backstage. So I'm doing every time. I go with him, we go on a flight, I get up on the stage, I put on the thing, where I cue him, he does a little show, we'll finish. I go to the promoter, I get the money. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm doing this for like 3 years. Now at the same time, I'm just thinking, all right, just helping this kid out and it's cool and I get to fly around the place, whatever. But I'm a producer and I'm making songs with Beanie Man and Elephant Man and I'm happy. I mean, yeah, Sean is cool, but yeah, I'm helping him out. That was my thinking. Mm-hmm. You understand? But you do that for 4 years and then suddenly it dawns on you that, well, you're managing him now. You realize that you're his manager. They call you for everything. The shows are coming through you, you're traveling, you know what I'm saying? You're collecting this money on his behalf. He's looking to you for guidance. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're trying to get him outfits to buy. We're like in New York and, you know, we like shopping down like Broadway and 4th and the store's looking at us like, are these guys like lovers or something? Because you're like, Sean, I think this pants looks really good on you. And I'm like, hold on, let me fix this. And he's like, yo, I don't know. I don't think this looks good. And you're like, yeah. That's look good. All right, try this. You know what I mean? The whole store's looking like, what's going on here? This black dude here shopping and telling this guy how to dress. Because Sean didn't care about those things. He doesn't care about clothes and jewelry and bullshit. He just care about music. You understand? So he was just like, well, what the fuck? Why do I need to buy that? I don't matter. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't really get it. To this day, yeah, he dresses well now, but he's not a fashion. He doesn't take his money and go shopping. Sean doesn't buy clothes. I mean, stylists come to music videos, they give him clothes. He's like, all right, can I keep that? How much is it? But so his whole thing was a lot different, but you end up doing so many things on his behalf. And you start to realize, well, I'm managing this kid, not with a signed contract, right? At that time, I wasn't even taking any money from him because I was doing well as a producer. So I didn't really see the point. I was like, he's doing a show for $2,000, I'm going to take $200? Why? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? I have this big hit, David Rodigan's calling me, what the fuck? You know? So I mean, I'm getting checks from EMI Publishing for like 50 G's. Why do I leave him with his $200? So the whole relationship was done, I mean, just very much out to just like, you just like this kid's talent and you want to help him out. And I enjoy the records you're making with him. You know what I mean? And if he's sticking by you for advice and to help go along, then, you know, it's fine. And I think in a management relationship, that to me is so much more important. You understand? Than by getting up and talking about, here's this big fat contract, sign here, sign there, sign, because it doesn't make a difference. You're going to get married. I mean, you and this person have to care about each other. You can't sign the paper, well, we're married, you know, the paper is signed. They don't care. If you're an asshole, they'll leave your ass the same way. What difference a paper doesn't make? You understand what I'm saying? So that's not what's binding of the relationship. Yeah, legally it's important. I'm not telling people do not sign contracts. Obviously, you want to get your contract signed, but you need to have that relationship with that person because you're going to go through a lot of ups and a lot of downs, right? And when you're up, you understand? They are the greatest thing. I'm the artist, I'm brilliant, people love me. When they're down, you are the worst manager. You understand? So you're never the best manager when they're on top, you know. Yeah, he's my manager, but it's all about me. The people love me. You know what I mean? And when they're down, yo, my management's focused hard and not doing nothing, not going. It's like, maybe we recorded some crap songs where you're blaming me as your manager, you know what I'm saying? But it's that kind of job where...
So is that something you're going to pursue further, or is that just something that happened? And
I mean, management?
Yeah. I mean, like working at the moment, are there people coming up working in your studio who you're like, man, this is some good talent for the future? Or
there might be, but the whole process. You see, the thing is that we don't really have like a proper. Let me tell you something. Most of the successful management or reggae artists out of Jamaica came from guys that were doing everything for the artists. They were the producers and the managers. They were doing everything. So if you're talking about like Shabba Ranks, Cabra, Patra, that was like specialist, Clifton specialist, Dylan. He was their producer. He was their manager. So you had that control where they're making the records plus they're managing the artists and guiding the careers. You understand? If you have Robert Livingston who manages Shaggy, he's the producer, he has his producers, they have their studio, they make the records, and they also manage the artists. So they can guide the career. My thing is similar with Sean. I make the records. If I don't make them, I'm supervising the records that are being made, and I'm making the decisions as well. It is very difficult to just be the manager of the artist and don't have anything to do with them creatively. You understand? Because then they're going off in a creative direction that you cannot manage. You understand what I'm saying? And at the same time, to just produce them and make hit records for them, but there's no management, it kind of leaves another void where you have this big smash record playing on the radio, but there's no follow-up to the record, because the record business is way more about than getting the song on the radio. You understand? It's the whole follow-up, it's all the promo work the artist has to do, it's the imaging, it's the videos, it's, you know, the interviews, it's the press, it's everything that he has to do to actually make, you know, create this artist that people want to buy into. If kids can go and download a song, who cares? All right, it's #1 on Hot 97 in New York, or whatever, and, you know, one extra in the UK. Oh, great. Search, download. I don't need to buy. The only time they're going to buy it, they have to buy into the artist, into the product. So they have to select, oh, what is it about this artist that I like? I want to buy the album. I want to hear more music. I want to look at the pictures. I want to read the thing. I want to... So it's very difficult to kind of think about it separate in our business, because we don't have, as big as reggae music is and as widespread as it goes, we don't have that fertile breeding ground for the development of artists. If you're in the United States, you have booking agents, you have publicists, you have stylists, you have choreographers, you have video directors, engineers, you have all of these people dedicated to the fostering of growth of an artist. So if you find a girl and you say, you sing R&B, okay, then you already have all of these people there to say, oh, no problem, I can dress her and make her look like Beyonce because I'm a stylist. Here's the clothes. You find a choreographer, oh, I can make sure that she dances like Christina Milian or whoever, the trainer. You understand? You go to that producer or that songwriter, oh yeah, I wrote all the songs for Destiny's Child, for this, for A-Marie. Yeah man, I can give you a track like that, boom, boom, and they hook it up. You give her, it's all mapped out for you, so they can create stars and create artists out of nothing easily.
But do you find that that kind of idea of manipulation is kind of, how do you find that when you take, you know, say Sean's music to the States, you know, and you're putting it out on, you know, a big record company, and they're maybe asking you to do things that you don't want to do, or trying to manipulate the sound, or what?
Well, we have to have certain guidelines by which we do our thing, but by the same token, I mean, our staff has to be like that. We have lawyers based in New York and accountants, you know what I mean? We have choreographers, we have several stylists who we use, so we have to create our team around Sean to be able to step up to that level. And then if you don't do it, the record company is going to try and make you do it anyway. When you get there, they're going to be like, oh, you know, we have a stylist. You understand? And they push somebody on you, and then they might do something and you look at it, you'll be like, no, but that's not his image. So you have to take control of it and be like, no, it's okay, we have our own stylist. You know, oh, we did a photo shoot, we have a great photographer. No, it's like, we have a photographer. You know, my pictures are done, here. This is how I want my artist to look. You understand? We have to do so much, because the label, they can't exist without having that whole machine to sell those records. Once in a while, yes, you get a phenomenal artist. That's just a great artist that puts out great records, and none of that matters. You understand? And people just buy into it and be like, oh, great, fantastic. But the machine is geared so much towards, you understand, in a whole different age. I mean, we spend hours and hours doing like interviews for websites. You know what I mean? Like 5-6 years ago, that was unheard of, like website. Who the fuck cares? No, now it's like major. You understand? Like, oh, we're gonna have your album debut on, you know, AOL sessions or something. And that is important because the whole way the web and the internet works now, they're gonna tell us, listen, this website gets like whatever 50 million hits a day. So you need to do the interview for the website. I'm just trying to show you that it's a lot more involved than just having the good song. We always make great songs out of Jamaica. You know, these kids, there's lots of reggae in it. You know what I mean? They get reggae songs, they're in the club 1 and 2. You always get breakthrough reggae hits and reggae songs, but then, you know, nothing happens after. There's no follow-up. Oh, you remember when that guy had that song? That was wicked. This was wicked, but there's no follow-up because our industry doesn't know in Jamaica how to foster that growth. You understand? So unless you understand how to get with that program, you know what I mean?
Man, that's a good insight into international music business. Just, I don't know if you'd mind telling us how you work in the studio and what you use, like when you're making your music.
When I started off making music, I was using Akai S950 rack sampler. I had an Atari with Master Tracks Pro, and I had, I think, one Korg module. I think it was a module for the M1 keyboard. It was called M3R or something like that. Yeah, like a PV keyboard or something like that. I think that's what I was using. Tannoy monitors and a little Mackie 16-track mixers. And I started with that, and then at the time, DigiDesign had a program called Session 8, which was like an 8-track version of Pro Tools. Basically, with this big interface, and you got 8 tracks. You didn't have, you had EQ? I think maybe it had EQ on it, but you didn't have, like, you couldn't use plugins and all of this. It was just 8 tracks. You could cut and paste it the same way, you know, and it came with this big unit, and you could plug the mic into it and whatever. So I used that to make a lot of records, like Sim Simmer, like Who Am I, that record by Beanie Man. A lot of those records were made with that system. Then I tried using the hard disk recorders. Right, well, that's a piece of garbage, and I lost a lot of music on that thing. Okay, it works good until when the drive crashes one day for no reason. You go like this, and you're just like, fuck, this whole 80 gig drive, I've lost everything. So I had that for a while. I mean, up until the point now, I mean, the studio, I mean, it depends. When your success, that brings you the money, now you can buy the stuff you want. I mean, now we have like MPC 2000, 2000 XL, MPC 4000, MPC 3000. Roland Phantom, Triton, Yamaha Motif keyboard, Alesis Ion, Access Virus, Nord Lead, some EMU modules, you know what I mean? You know, Pro Tools HD system, Reason, Logic, what else? You know what I mean? And tons, I know I have outboard gear to like preamps and Avalon and, you know, Viper tube pre's and API preamps and, you know, SSL bus compressor and, you know, like all of this stuff, which is all fine and good. To be honest with you, it's more difficult now to make music because you have too many choices. So you sit down in the studio, you're like, all right, let me go start programming the drums. Let me use this drum machine. Yeah. Oh, fuck, no, where is that sound? No, it was in the Roland. All right, turn on the MV8000. Like, oh, shit, you know what? You know there's some good drums in Reason, though. So let me turn that on. Oh, wait, no, fuck, Logic, battery. Yeah, there's wicked drums in that. And you get confused, and it takes you so much longer now. You have so many options. And you're so caught up in being a techie. You understand? So I'm like a junkie when I love gadgets and electronics and software and computers, and I have all these laptops, and every little software comes out, I have to get it, and every cool thing, oh, the new Pioneer mixer, and oh yeah, I need it because, what do you mean you need it? You're not even DJing, why? But you understand, you get so much into the gear, and then you start to afford the high-end gear. So like now I can go and buy API preamps because I always heard about these things. You know what I mean? Now I can go and buy the Sony C800G microphone that Dr. Dre uses for Eminem. That costs like $6,000. Because you're making some money now, you could afford it. And at the end of the day, you're sitting down, and you're like 5 mics in front of you, 4 drum machines, 10 keyboards, 3 pieces of software. You know what I'm saying? All the outboard, you're crammed in your little studio, and you're like, fuck, how I make music again now? I don't even remember. You know what I mean? And you get lost. So, I mean, the lesson to be learned is that the gear doesn't matter. It really doesn't make a difference. I mean, yeah, some people might tell you if you have this or if you have that, but it really don't make a difference. So it's all coming from your head and from your fingers and your heart. It don't really matter. Most of the rhythms here out of Jamaica right now, I can tell you this, are made on Logic and with Fruity Loops. Straight up. Most of the new kids that come, they can't afford a drum machine. Simple. But they can get a PC and they can all go on the web and download a crack copy of Fruity Loops. You understand what I'm saying? And they sit there and they make records. And all these big dancehall record, Capleton and Ray and all this stuff, you know, drop leaf rhythm, this big one drop reggae records that sound like it's Sly and Robbie in the studio with the weed, is made by one producer on Logic. You understand? He's a good friend of mine, Don Corleone. He programmed the whole fucking thing on Logic right there. And if you need a little guitar part, a guy come over and you just plug him in and he go ding, 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 and he go, put in his sampler, line it up in Logic. He does everything. He takes the files, drops it into Pro Tools. Pro Tools, boom, boom, he level up, mix the thing. And when you hear it, you're like, yeah, this is the real reggae. You know, live bass, I can hear it, and that's what I'm talking about. It's not that program bullshit. It's like it's Logic, dude, relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what them kids working. So the gear don't really make a difference in terms of the creation of the music. I mean, recording wise, yeah, you still can't beat good preamps. You know what I mean? I know yesterday Jimmy was talking about like this outboard and the vintage gear and whatever. I don't really subscribe to that. I mean, whatever, I have plugins that sound great to me. It's a whole different way of thinking. Because the plugins can do sounds that the outboard gear cannot do. And you can make that part of your sound too. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just really not practical to be buying like every single reverb and every single disc for how much thousands of dollars trying to take up space. Yeah, it doesn't make no sense. If you've gone into plugins, I mean, I love plugins, sure. But I use them both. It doesn't really matter. If I have the outboard gear, I use it. If I have the plugins, I'll be like, okay, I need this kind of compression. This outboard gear works good. And if next time I'll think, you know what? You know, that plugin will sound wicked though, because it can do this thing with compression that is just a whole next thing what the box cannot do. You understand? Or maybe certain reverbs, you know, like Altiverb, a lot of these kind of big, these plugin, you know, you're not fooling me, Lexicon, whatever. There's no way. This plugin sounds, it's on that level. You understand? Where the plugin manufacturers are approaching that level. And you know what? The more and more people have the analog digital debate, and they say a lot of the reasons why you have this thing in your head about analog sounding better is because it's the same thing about the records you grew up listening to that you love and make you love music was recorded in that format. So that to you is what is supposed to be good sound, because that's that emotional connection that you have. You understand? And you listen to today's music, it's digital and I don't hear the tape compression. It doesn't sound like my old records or my old this or all that. All that is going to pass by, because any generation now coming up, you understand? If a kid is 15 years old right now, he's not listening to the sound of tape no more on all these records. He's growing up listening to Pro Tools. So when he starts making music, he won't have a frame of reference like, oh yeah, tape sounded better. Why? It's not existent for him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you watch film, they do Star Wars, they do it digital. So you can reach, it's the same type of thing. You go back and watch an old film now, you'll be like, yo, why does it look like so mushy? And I don't get it, Clark Gable and them, I don't like that. No, you want this, explosions, bright colors, surround sound. So your whole reference keeps changing. So you're going to keep embracing the culture. You can't sit here and talk about, to tape. What? Quantity closed down. I mean, they stop making it. What are you going to do? You can't go buy the tape. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? A kid here wants to produce a record the tape. How? Go buy a tape machine for how much money? You mad? Who has that money? 70 grand to buy an Atari tape machine and they put the reel, and it's just not, it doesn't make any practical sense. Old school engineers will tell you about it. Yeah, they learned on that system, they know it, and I'm happy for them. I'm not knocking their argument, you know what I mean? But like now, right here and today, I can't sit here and tell everybody, yeah man, the vintage gear is the best thing, fuck the plugins, Pro Tools don't sound good, you know what I mean? Rare, whatever, CDs sound like shit, vinyl sounds better. Like, you have to move along and just do what you do, man. It's not about, you can make music on anything, anywhere. It don't make no difference. You use what you have. That's what makes you good, to be honest. You understand? To use what you have and make that music. You know what I mean? A guy can say, yeah, I'm a producer, and go into a big studio, hold up a fancy gear, and 3 other programmers around him. A guy running a Pro Tools rig, an MPC programmer, a guy who's like a whiz at Logic, some wicked keyboard player that can play like this, and he sits down, yeah man, it's my track, I did it. You understand? Versus the little kid that sat down with his little controller, Fruity Loops, you understand? Headphones, and sat there and mapped out his thing. Now who you think is a more talented person? You understand what I'm saying? So it don't make a difference, man. Anything that you use. I have all that gear right now, and sometimes I just turn on one drum machine and use that.
So you are working in the studio a lot at the moment? You still...
I mean, I'm trying to get back into it. The management takes up a lot of your time. You know what I mean? A lot of your energy, a lot of your focus. But at the same time, you feel like you're doing something for a greater good, because if I don't manage the artists to do well and sell the records, then making the records almost seems like, well, it's not going to go anywhere anyway. You understand? It's like I have to keep pushing down the door with the artists. I have to make sure that Sean Paul can go out and go sell millions again. To prove to the world that we're here to stay, reggae music can sell, it can work. Sign these kids, give them record deals, put them on the TV, give them the budgets, fly them all over the world, make them do the promo, because they can sell the records. So when that happens now, it's good. Now we can go back and make records, because we can make records thinking, yeah, this can sell. This can go on the Elephant Man album or the Vibes Cartel or the Beat Man. Now everybody has a shot. You understand? So to me, I value it more important at this time to make sure that that works for him as an artist, so that everybody else, it makes sense. You understand? If everybody's trying to make music. Otherwise, we waste there making music and keep selling the 5,000 copies of the vinyl. And you understand? Where's it going in the long run?
So that's an investment in the future. But yeah, it would be great if you could get back into the studio and keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. And so would these guys. And I think it might be a good idea to see if there's anyone who wants to ask any questions out there. Any of those queries. I think he needs a microphone, maybe.
So like my buddy just came back, he was in vacation in Kingston with his girlfriend, and he came back with a big box full of 45s. He just went into the record store, he's like, okay, give me everything that's hot. Give me what they play in the clubs. And then I noticed that he came back with like, there'd be like 4 records with the same label, the same beat, but all different artists spitting on it.
Right.
Can you maybe talk a little bit about how that works?
Well, we have a culture in our music where we have a thing called rhythm juggling. Right? Juggling, like, you know, like circus, rhythm juggling, which really refers to when the DJs play the records and they play that same track with multiple artists on it, and they play a song and they cue and they play the next one and they play the next one. So like one whole 5-minute experience really gets you like 4 or 5 artists at the same time. The reason for it primarily was an economic reason, because of how much it would take for you to get our track of music done. You say you want to be a producer, but you're not a musician, right? So it's okay, fine. So you find a guy, you're like, yo, program some drums. He puts it, you put on your tape. This is back in tape days, yeah? You get a keyboard player, you're like, yo, play something for me. You do this, you do that. So now you have your 24-track tape. It does now cost you the amount of time in the studio now, paying studio time and the hours and to pay all these musicians, that you can't make back enough money by just making one song on this one track. Right? So they go in the studio, they have 24-track tape, they might fill up like 10 tracks with music. And they're looking at it like, well, you know, we have 14 more tracks on the tape. So they go and they get 14 artists. So they mix the song and they push up this fader, and that's that vocal, and they run that off, and they bring that down, and you push up the next fader, and then that's that artist. So it all lives on one 24-track master, and every fader is a different artist. Now the reason was just an economic reason, because you spend so much time and energy and money to put together this project that the sale of one record could never make back the money. When you're selling the 5,000 copies in Jamaica or whatever, it's impossible. So you had to have 14 artists on it. You understand? So then now you're selling upwards of 50,000 copies, which would cover the cost. So that phenomenon, which they start to call juggling the rhythm track. And so the DJs play the music like that. So it was an experience where it was like a community-based thing. Like if you had this rhythm, all these different artists would give you their different version of the song that they think should go on the rhythm track, right? So as he says, they can go back, and he's going to come back with all these 45s, and it's the same label because it's the same producer. So it's him with his thing, and like, look, I have 6 artists on this. I mean, you're lucky you only got 5. Usually it's like 14, 20. You know what I'm saying? on the same rhythm track, and it becomes such a culture of how they play the music. And it was positive in many ways, because what happens is that it would give a young artist a chance and opportunity to be able to record. So if I was a producer and I had my tape or whatever, and I recorded all the big artists I wanted to get, I had Cobra, I had Buju Banton, I had Beanie Man or Ninja Man, whoever you had. And then there's this little kid that nobody knew, but you say, all right, you know what, come, I'll give you a shot, you have a track, go. Right, so he got one track. So he did his best now to do his song on this one. No double track on chorus and harmony, fuck that. You got one track, right? So he has his shot. So now that small artist would feel like, okay, I'm on the same rhythm track as these big artists. So when the guys get in the club now and they're going to play the big artists, maybe they'll play my song. Because now they'll listen to 30 seconds of my song if they can mix it in with the big artist song, and I'll get a little bit of shine. You understand? So in that way, it was very useful for the younger artists. And then the producers felt good, like, okay, now I can make back my money, because if I make 14 songs on this rhythm track, I have 14 separate records to sell, and maybe I can get 3 or 4 hits or 5 hits or 6 hits. And then the foreign companies come along and they want to license the project, and they license the whole CD. Give me all 14 tracks, put on a CD. You understand? So now they're making these kind of production albums. And so the focus for us in Jamaica, or the producers or the musicians, it don't really matter to us that it's on the same rhythm track, because they care about what the artist is doing on the track. You understand? So you didn't really have that marriage of like, well, this track is for this artist. It's like, no, they consider it's just like a rhythm. It's just a track. It's really about what the artist is doing. So that's sort of like why the culture of that whole thing takes place. I mean, even into most recent times, Sean Paul had a big #1 record with Get Busy, if you know that song. Wayne Wonder had a song on the same rhythm track, right? Lumi D had a song on the same rhythm track. You understand? Then afterwards you had like Nina Sky and Pitbull and Mr. Vig, and they all had songs on the same dancehall rhythm track. So I mean, it still kind of happens. Hip hop, it happens once in a while. You understand? You get like a track that has like Smiles on South Star, and it has like Ja Rule and Ashanti, and it's the same rhythm track. You know what I mean? If you go back into hip hop and talk about like all those real Roxanne records, you know what I mean? Like you had Biz yesterday talking about that. They were all on that same beat. You know what I mean? It was like the real Roxanne, Roxanne this, Roxanne that, Roxanne's Revenge. They were all cut on the same. So they had a certain amount of that culture and some of the stuff that they were doing as well. We have never really let go of it though. And as I said, it started off really, it's really economic reasons. It's just trying to make back your money off of the
But it
rhythm.
does work in the dance as well, though. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you can listen to one rhythm and it actually, you know, if the
Right.
spinning the record's making it work can work for an hour.
Because, because if you think about it, they're not playing 3 minutes and 30 seconds of every song. So you're playing a song, chorus, verse, chorus, out, chorus, verse, chorus, out, chorus. So as I said, by the time you're into 5-6 minutes of time, you heard 5 artists. So it all gets very compressed. So it doesn't really feel like, oh fuck, I'm listening to the same thing for half an hour. Like what the hell? No, because it's just really 5-6 minutes of time. But you got so many artists in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is there? I'm here. Is there a competitive element between singers, like who's gonna do the best version on that rhythm?
Definitely. Very, very competitive. You have some artists that will actually wait until a bunch of guys record songs to see the caliber. You know what I mean? I can tell you, like people like Bounty Killer and Beanie Man, that's what them guys do. You have a rhythm track, they ain't coming first to record nothing. They'll be like, yeah, go ahead, and they'll wait and make you record a whole bunch of songs and listen to the radio. And they listen and say, oh, that's what that artist is doing, that's what that song is doing. Then they go write their song. And I'm trying to make sure I can write a better song than the rest of them. You understand? So it is very, very competitive that way. A lot of the artists do that. Some guys don't care. Like Capleton, Elephant Man, these guys, they don't give a shit, don't matter. Rhythm, go, record, headphones, spit. You understand? Some of them are a lot more calculating, and they want to make sure that their thing is at a certain class, a certain level. So if you have this rhythm track and you only have these little unknown artists on it, they don't want to put their song on that rhythm track, because what kind of company is that to be in? You understand? They want to know that they're on the rhythm with the big artists, and so it's very tactical. This whole game of recording for the producers and who records what and track, because they're all fighting for the same stage shows and the same bookings and the same dub plates. You You understand? So kids will come all the way from Japan. And they want reggae dub plates, exclusives. They want specials, you know? I have sound system, here, the paper, and the guy gonna read it. He's gonna cut an exclusive song for that kid now. So the kids from Japan come, and they got like 10,000 US dollars. And they're gonna spend money now. You understand what I'm saying? So now, you as an artist, you better make sure that your song on that collection, that rhythm, is the baddest song, so that you will be the one that they want to do the exclusive version for them. You understand? So you can't take it lightly like, oh, we're all friends, it's one big happy family, and you know, we're all in the dancehall community, and we're Jamaicans, everybody hug. Oh, fuck that. It's all, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all competitive, because they don't have the hot song, they won't get to the dub plate, they won't make the money. And they won't get to go on the stage show, they won't have top billing on the show. You know what I mean? Oh, your song wasn't that big. You understand? So you can come on at like 10 o'clock at night. Your song was huge, we're saving you till 3 in the morning. How much money you want? We're gonna pay you this big sum. You understand? So it's very competitive, very, very competitive with them.
Just on the issue of specials, how accessible are artists to do that? Sorry. And how much does it cost?
How, was the first part of it?
Well, for the specials,
Yeah.
how accessible are the artists to do that?
How accessible are they to do it?
Yeah, and how much does it cost? Like,
Specials can cost anywhere, it depends on the artist. They can cost anywhere from, like an artist who you'd really care about getting a special from, maybe 200 US to all the way to 1,000, 1,500 US per song. You understand?
yeah.
So usually a lot of guys, I mean, accessibility, people come to Jamaica, you understand, and hunt them down and go to the studios and contact them and get the specials done. Nowadays, as I said, everybody has laptops and Roland VS 880 machines. They can cut specials anywhere, hotel rooms, it doesn't matter. Before, you had to go to the dub studio and pay the money, and they had the lacquer plate with the thing, and the guy doing it and it's cutting at the same time, and they couldn't fuck up, and you got your plate, and you know, that's why you call it dub plates. It's the acetate lacquer that you'd use to go and press the mother stampers to make records. But they just take that acetate lacquer, that big, heavy, thick thing, and they go play that. That would be the dub plate. We're in modern times, so Pioneer, CDJ. So it's all about Roland VS 880, CD. That's your new dub plate. But then either get the artist that way, or if the artist go on tour, you understand? If you know the artist coming to Seattle and you have reggae guys here in Seattle, then make sure to call a promoter and find out where the artists are, go to the hotel and try and get the plates from them. Or you have guys in Jamaica that know artists that would go and beg them and say, listen, I have a friend of mine that have a sound system, and could you do something and get it from them, and they do the transaction and get back the money. You know what I mean? You have a sound system somewhere, you might be friendly with another sound system in Jamaica, for example, and they'll do it for you as a favor, or whatever. Yeah, but anywhere between 200 US to 1,500 US. I mean, I'm not going to hide, most sound systems that are successful are run by druggists, by drug money, straight up. You understand? Nobody can afford that. You know what I mean? Drug dealers in Jamaican drug dealers that have sound systems that are playing out. They can afford that. I mean, I've seen guys come and cut dub plates for one specific event, you know, for one party, one time, with that person's name in it. You understand? So that record's going to be played once, ever. It cannot be played again. You come and cut a dub plate, and be like Bounty Killer, and be like, hey yo, whatever, King of these, you're the biggest sound around town. Bass Odyssey, we're gonna kill you tonight in New York at Amazuro. Run the track. And he's saying it on the record. It's for that dance, that particular night, and it can never be played again. And they pay Bounty Killer 1,500 US for that. You understand? But that's about sound system dominance. So when they get to the club, it's like, my sound is the biggest sound. I can afford to make a record with your name on it just to kill you tonight. I can play it once. You understand? And that's it. I can take it off and it's no use. But that's how big I am. You understand? It's sound system dominance. But the dub plate thing, I mean, and these guys take it seriously. It's a whole other culture unto itself now. It don't really have anything more to do with what I do, with managing Sean and whatever, and producing beats in the studio. No, sound system cult, in the same way like turntablist culture has now split off from hip hop. You understand? It's a whole different thing. DJ culture and turntablist culture doesn't have anything to do with what the hell 50 Cent's doing or Jay-Z's doing. You understand? This is kids doing turntablist culture stuff, making beat CDs, making scratch things, doing, you know, DMC competitions, winning them. It's a whole next discipline. Sound system thing in Jamaica too, and clashing and the sound, it's a whole other discipline. Nothing to do anymore with us making the records and the music. You know?
You hear me? Yeah. When you're producing rhythms, do you work specifically on each song for each artist, or you just do the rhythm, give it to the studio, and then just run all the tunes?
Some guys work differently. I can't write DJ songs. I can't write songs like that. You understand? I can't make the rhythms. I just can't write. I can't think like them. I can't write like them. So I will just create the track. And to me, it's like I have not created the track. You create the lyrics. You understand? And then I'll produce the record from there. And I'll be like, okay, I like that, I don't like that. You know what? Do the melody this way. How about using that melody? That's how I work.
Or would you play with the arrangement after the vocals were recorded?
Not usually. I mean, it depends. If it's my artist, if it's Sean Paul, then yeah. But for other people, no, because then you're going to start getting haywire. Everybody's going to want to do something different. You're going to have to keep changing the whole rhythm every 2 seconds. Or take out this keyboard part, put in that part, replay this part. And it kind of goes all over the place. Yeah. Some guys now will do like a basic rhythm track, let the guys record their songs, and then they might play a keyboard line to follow the melody of what the artist does. You understand? Just a lead line to kind of do it underneath. Some producers are writers, and they will actually create the rhythm and have the song already written. You know what I mean? If you have guys like Dave Kelly and Tony Kelly, and them guys are real writers of music, so all the hits, and that's why they're so successful, because they're writing the songs as well as doing a rhythm. So they'll write a song and say, this song would be good for Beenie Man. And
so
this song would be
big
good for that
tune on
person.
that rhythm would be the one that they actually wrote.
Go on again?
The big tune on that rhythm would be one that they wrote.
Yeah. Exactly. All of them stuff. Anything you hear like from Dave Kelly, like, you understand those, he writes all of those songs. A lot of those artists, when you see them on that label, they write. So some people work differently. Some guys, as I said, they will write songs for the artists or have ideas or sketch them out, as well as doing a track. Some people like me, I just do the track. They'll come with a song. If I don't like it, I'll tell them change it. I'll let them alter it. But I don't consider myself a good writer of lyrics in that manner to really try and sit down and pretend to write a song for these guys. So depends how it works. I mean, you know, some people are even less hands-on than that. Some people like they just make the track and they give it to the artist. And I was like, oh, well, I have a Digio 2 Pro Tools at my house. And they go and do it and just give them back. I don't subscribe to that at all, because that to me ain't producing. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. Give people a track, they go off and do their thing and you get it back. That's what producing what? It's not production. You made the beat. You had nothing to do to recording that record. You have no input. You understand? I don't like that personally, but some guys do it that way too. Yeah. I mean, it all depends.
And I know you're not a part of the like you said, you're not a part of the sound system culture thing, but what do you feel about like the German sound winning the World Clash now, Sentinel?
It's fantastic. I mean, that just goes to show you that how much the culture is spreading. I mean, and that's amazing. You see, to my perspective, I think that's great, because I'm here trying to manage an artist and make records to reach people internationally. So I like, me personally, I like that. No, maybe some guys in Jamaica can be like, oh, that's fucked up. How can a German sound win the sound clash? And that's bullshit and rare, whatever. You know what I mean? But it's all grapes. The sound system thing, the people decide, you know. You understand? So you play in a hall full of people, you understand, which is 90% Jamaicans anyway. And if they decide that the German sound played better than all y'all, then who are you to talk? German sound wins. You know what I mean? Canadian sounds have one sound class. Japanese sounds. You know what I mean? Japanese kids playing reggae is tripped out.
Yeah, Mighty Crown.
Mighty Crown and them guys. And they're good. They can't even speak English, but they could speak Jamaican patois. And that's what's amazing to me. And they come to Jamaica, these kids, and like I've met them, and you know, not just Mighty Crown, but like other kids, so you talk to me like, you know, hi, you know, how you doing, you guys going out tonight or what? And they look at you funny like, what? Me no understand. And you say, Wagwan, you go to the club tonight? And they say, oh yeah man, me I go to the club tonight, man. And you're like, holy fuck, that is so weird. I met these chicks from Tokyo, had a book. You know, you travel and you have those little translation books. I swear to God, Japanese to Jamaican patois. I don't know who makes this book. The girl had the book, so she's trying to tell me, so she's like, hold on. And she look and say, and she close the book. Yeah, man, you don't know me want to go tonight. And she's reading, and I said, let me see that book. Japanese, English, Jamaican patois. It's her travel guide, and she's in Jamaica, and her English sucks. You get what I'm saying? We're an English-speaking country now. I have my accent, we have our little slang or patois, like, but it's English. I'm talking English all the time. They don't get it. Mighty Crown, these Japanese kids, and they get on the mic and they say, yo, you don't know. Big up to all the massive in the house. You don't know artists like this, that. Yo, come down. And it's bugged out, and they can't speak regular English. And you're like, yo, you're such students of the culture. That's amazing. You've taken on the language, everything, and you can play a sound system. And I mean, we respect that. How can you not respect that? I mean, come on. Gentleman from Germany. He's an amazing reggae artist, period. Fuck that. I don't care where he come from, what color his skin is, what he look like. You understand what I'm saying? The man is a tough artist. He come and record for my friend, for Don Crow, with his big smash record. You understand? Every time you need me, I will be there, right there. You know what I'm saying? Murder. You play to that dance in Jamaica, the place go wild, mash up. You understand? Them guys are students of the music. Them listen Luciano, Sizzler, and Bob and Ray, and practice his craft. And he's not trying to be fake. He don't have like no dreadlocks. He's not trying to look like nothing. You understand? He just, whatever, his head shape, bald, his little beard, just dressed like a normal individual. German kid. Has a name like Gentleman. What the hell is that? What kind of name is that? You understand what I'm saying? He's original. He do his thing. He really genuinely love the music. Anytime any cultures outside Jamaica really do it, Jamaica embraces them. You understand? They embrace Snow from Canada. You understand? They embrace Gentleman. They embrace like all of these guys that don't matter the sound systems. It don't make a difference because you're showing that, listen, we really like your culture. And we're into your music. We're not here, we're not posing and trying to pretend or get something out of it. What's there to get out of reggae music? What are you talking about? I'm barely selling the records. You have to rely on dub plays from drug dealers to make money. It's not like, you understand? It's not like when guys say, I want to be a rapper because they can be on MTV and have a chain and all this dumb shit. We don't have that. So when you come into our music, it's because you just really love our music. You're making that pilgrimage to come to Jamaica to spend time, to learn the music, to get involved. And they will accept you. The Jamaicans will fully embrace it. Like, yeah, man, I'm a brethren from Germany, you know. I'm wicked. You know, it's a wicked selector, man, Ray. And they work with you because it's like you love the thing. You know what I mean? So it's all good. Them sound systems, all our culture is fantastic, and it just keeps spreading the music more and more. If I can have a German sound system playing across Germany the whole year, playing the records that I make, come on, that's what I need. You understand? I need a New Zealand sound system playing the records that I make. You understand? And the UK, South America, all over the place, South Africa, everywhere, can only help my music. So help my music spread, so I can sell records and my artists can tour and go to all these places in the world. You know what I mean? Managing Sean Paul, he had a show 3 months ago in Madagascar. You understand what I'm saying? Now, how the hell will you get to go to places like that in the world? Based on music? 50 Cent don't got no show in Madagascar, neither does Jay-Z, neither does Mariah Carey. You understand what I'm saying? But we do. So that whole cultural exchange is brilliant. Like Reunion Islands, I mean, some of the places Sean has been to, and it's like you don't even know where to find it on the map. You're like, where is that? I don't know, where is that? Fuck, here? There's a show? Yeah. Somebody's paying you to come here and perform? Yeah. They like your music there? Yeah. You're going to Poland? Why? Well, my record's number 3. What do you mean number 3? I have the number 3 record in Poland. How the fuck can a reggae artist in Jamaica have a number 3 record in Poland? It's bizarre to me. But you spread the music and I love it. Them think that's fantastic, man. Any one of them countries in the world is great. Really, really great.
Hi. Early on when you started talking, you referenced a lot of different music that's not directly connected to reggae and influenced you, like Nitsa Rap and House and whatever. And it feels to me like the best rhythms are always ones that are somewhat divergent from the regular patterns, like rhythm-wise and bassline-wise. To what extent do you think that a producer has to be music savvy person and understand about completely different styles in order to make the next big rhythm and make it unexpected and make it go somewhere else no one else is going?
I mean, I think it's very important, me personally, because I'm a lover of music. You understand? Not just about reggae music or dance music. I love music. So from your love music, you know, you listen to all kinds of music all throughout your life at all different points and times, and it influences how you want to make music. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, I can install my hard rock guitar stuff or whatever, and then at the same time I can go and listen to, you know, soft R&B music, whatever. When I was a kid, my dad listened to a lot of classical music. You understand? So I just grew up listening to like a lot of classical music, you know, at the same time. I think all the influences are good. I don't think you should be able to close yourself off. People have this impression that, you know, I'm a hip-hop head, so I don't listen to hip-hop because I'm keeping it real and like, you know, fuck that soft shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't listen to this hard shit. It's garbage. You understand what I'm saying? And people think that, oh, to try and prove something that they must listen to only this kind of music or listen to only that kind of music. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. You love music, so you listen to all various influences and types of music. You understand what I'm saying? I think it's very important because it makes your whole spectrum very broad. Now, if you consciously try and take the music to put in is one way of doing it, but sometimes subconsciously, it will just come into it when you're making your music. You don't even realize it, and you're playing some kind of melody, and your friend will look at you and be like, yo, that kind of sound like a little Spanish jazz type, you know, guitar. How come? And you're like, I don't know. It doesn't really occur to you. You know what I mean? But you just actually listen to a lot of that music. So from you're a fan of music, you know. You understand? It can only make you better. You understand? Being able to play an instrument. Like, I've been producing music for years. I recently got back into playing my guitar. I had some reggae artists come by the studio like last year. And I'm fucking around, I have the guitar plugged in like a Les Paul and like, you know, running some scales. And they're like, you can play guitar? I'm like, yeah. They're like, yo, that's wicked. I'm like, I said, yeah, I didn't know you were a real musician. What do you mean I'm a real musician? What the fuck? I've been making records since like 93, 94, you know. But all of a sudden now I am a real musician because they saw me playing a guitar. So all the records I've been making with all my keyboards, drum machines, that never qualified in their head as you being a real musician. Turntable, you're not a real musician. You're scratching records. You know, oh, you can play guitar. No, you're a real musician. You know what I'm saying? Impressions that people have. Like, you're shocked on, you know, people, you know, Jamie Foxx is a big actor and then he go sing the thing with Kanye and everybody's like, oh, Jamie Foxx could sing. He could play piano. Like all of a sudden, you could always do it, but he was trying to be an actor. You know what I'm saying? He used to do soundtracks for us. Nobody cared. He was an actor, but of course, he's a musician. It all depends on your perspective. So the more things that you can learn, let me tell you something, can only make you way more versatile as a DJ, as a producer, as an engineer. Like Jimmy was saying yesterday, he's an engineer, he can play bass, he can play guitar, he can sing a little bit. Because part of your job when you sit on making music, artists come into my studio and I start with something, I'll be like, no, hold on, don't do it this way, do it this way. Da, 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 da. And then you can sing. I'm like, dude, I make music, I can do it. Yeah, but I'm not the greatest singer, nor the greatest guitar player, nor the greatest DJ. But I've found a way to take all those things to make me do what I need to do. So the more influences that you have, you know what I mean? Don't be shy. You want to go join a choir right now? Go and join it. Don't make your friends say, oh, what kind of sissy thing is that? You're in a choir. You're supposed to be this big... No, fuck that. Go learn to sing. It's going to help you. You understand? Learn an instrument. Guitar, piano, fucking saxophone, anything at all. We're going to work with them hip-hop producers like the Neptunes. Them guys are multi-talented, you know. We'll work with them like Pharrell and them guys. Believe you me, instruments, keyboard, they're sick. Guitar, saxophone, they can play all this shit. Drums, they actually can play it. Not because they're hip-hop guys making beats and stuff. They're actual musicians. They can sing. You know what I mean? It really, really helps. You know, so all the musical influences that, you know, I've taken and used into me making music too. And you can use it in any capacity. It makes you more versatile. You don't know where the road is going to take you. Because I'm telling you, I thought I was going to be a guitarist. Swore to God I was going to be a guitar player. Then I was going to be a DJ. You understand what I'm saying? Now I end up being a reggae music producer and a manager. You don't know where the path is going to take. And all of these influences that you had helped you all along the way. You know what I'm saying? Now I have to know about computers. Everybody in Kingston comes to me to fix their Mac. all these kids are Pro Tools, Steely and Cleave, Dunk, they all come to me and they're like, Jeremy's the guy, he knows about Macintosh. So they're like, oh, my shit crash. Right, bam, Disk Warrior, this fragment drive, boom, reinstall Pro Tools. I know how to do it because I've taken an interest in learning about the tools, which I have. So I'm saying to myself, okay, at any given time, I could go back and play on a radio station. I could work for a record company now because of all my experience managing the artists and fighting with the fucking record company for 4 years, right? So I know how they think and they work. I could be a Pro Tools engineer. You understand what I'm saying? I could just program beats. You have so much other talents that you know that you could end up in different situations. So you never know what the situation is going to drop yourself into. You guys all here, your DJs, your producers, you're making music, you have your own dreams and ideas of what you think you want to do in the business, and you never know what you're going to end up doing. You understand what I'm saying? So to be so versatile, to be in any situation, you know what I mean? Where I keep referencing Jimmy yesterday, he had a great talk. I mean, like, he's going to work with Jimmy Page. You understand? How can you do that? And then you have to know something about rap music and guitar playing. This guy's like a guy who's trying to be a producer, ends up being an engineer at Atlantic Records, and is now recording something with Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. Because the approach is so wide, so you know, oh, guitar, yeah, I understand that. Les Paul, no problem. What are you trying to do? Solos, let me hear it. All right, let's chop this, boom. Because you can do it, because you have the knowledge, and that's all influences of music that you listen to all the while, and you understand, never embrace it all. It's all music is one thing, you know. Music is just one whole thing, you know. To me, I see music as one thing. Yeah, okay, these guys are from this area and they call it rap, and we're from here, we call it dancehall, and you know, some guys make this and they call it dance music, and they have little titles and whatever. And to me, it's the same. It's just one. It's just music. You know.
Stupid question probably, but where's Jamaican music going next?
Where is it going?
Yeah.
Wow, I wish somebody would tell me so I could know what to do. I don't know. That's a hard question. Where's Jamaican music going next? I don't know. Sometimes you think that with the success of a few international acts that it's going to blow up. I don't know. I think the influence of the music is spreading a lot, where you have a lot more reggae in a lot more American music and music from around the world. You know what I'm saying? People have a lot more, you know, hip-hop is at a point right now where everything can be hip-hop. Like every beat can program and have a hip-hop feel to it. It doesn't really, you know what I'm saying? Every commercial on TV sounds like a little hip-hop beat or something. It changes. I think dancehall is reaching a point like that too, when I can get like, you know, R. Kelly records and hear it and be like, that's dancehall. You can't trick me, that ain't R&B. That's the dancehall beat, R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Tanga, 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 tanga. I hear them singing, tanga, 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 tanga. It's dancehall. You know what I mean? Christina Milian, dancehall. You know, Beyonce. See, you hear so much influences in so much of the music. Certain rock groups to do certain things, and it's spreading that way. Jamaican music itself, where it's going, I don't know. It's a very hard question. I mean, I guess the whole idea is that this now generation, we have our hands on the steering wheel. You understand? So it's not really so much about where is it going, like, oh, we'll follow it. Let's go in here. Let's go over there. No, we going to take it, you know. You understand? This generation right now, this kind of feedback, these kids here playing the music, I trying to make the music, me trying to manage the artists, is up to me. Because the baton has been passed. I love Sly and Robbie. They're legends. And they did a great job, but the baton is passed. You understand? It ain't up to Sly and Robbie no more to make this happen. Or Black Uhuru, or Shabba Ranks, or the Wailers, or Bob Marley, or none of these people. It's not up to them. No, it's up to this generation. They have done their work and said, we have done it. Take this and build. This is a foundation. You guys carry it where you want to go. You get mixed up with hip hop, go ahead. Little dance music, what you want to do. But it's your choice. How are you going to deal with it now? We're good. Stand up, all right. I see them with Sinead O'Connor, like on late night TV, like, you know, backing her up and things. They're cool. Them guys nice. Plenty Grammys, money. They're good. They're named legends. You can't take that away from them. They're done their thing. You understand? So we're trying to build our new thing right now. Where is it going? I don't know. We have to carry it there. So we're still trying to figure it out. There's no map for us. It's all uncharted territory. So we would go in and we'll say, oh, all right, we don't like that, move this, and we'll just keep trying to figure it out as we go along, you know?
Excuse me. I know a little bit of the existence of rhythms and stuff, but maybe you can help me out from a Kingston's or Kingston's point of view, what the differences between reggae, dancehall, ragamuffin? Do people in Jamaica make a real difference between these words, or is it just like a label?
Between the words? Well, to us, everything is reggae. It's just one music is reggae music. You understand? Dancehall specifically referred to a place. It was the dance hall, the place where they played the reggae music. You understand? So like, where is the party being kept? It's being kept at that dance hall. You get me? And they start calling it dance hall music and create it like a subgenre. But to us, it's just still reggae. You understand? The definition to us is just reggae music, straight up. You know what I'm saying? We might differentiate between like an up-tempo dancehall track and like a down-tempo one, and we'll call the down-tempo one drop, right? Or a culture rhythm. You understand? And then we'll call it up-tempo ones like just dancehall, or I know they used to call it bashment rhythm. They don't use that word again. Jump-up rhythm. They say that now. They say, yeah, man, it's a jump-up rhythm. That's a nice. It's fast. And then a one drop is slow thing. We'll call it like that, but to us it's just reggae. We don't really title it very different than that. You understand? It's still just all. People want to try and make a distinction. I don't know what passes for rock nowadays. Don't have nothing to do with fucking Elvis and, you understand, Chuck Berry and that shit. Linkin Park and Chuck Berry is worlds apart, dude. You know what I'm saying? But you still call it rock music though, you know what I mean? It's rock, right? So then why is it that you think reggae, well, if it doesn't sound like Bob Marley, it can't be reggae, then it must have a different name. No, all music that progress the same way.
Yeah, but I'm not in the need of a real labelings. I was just wondering, because you're from Jamaica, you're from the Kingston streets of Kingston, so maybe you could help us out. That was just a question.
Yeah, we call it just all reggae to us. We're not trying to really divide it up or nothing like that. I mean, we know the difference between, as I said, the jump up and the one drop and all of that, but we don't really make that distinction. The problem happens when outside of Jamaica people want to say, oh, well, you're not reggae. Why? Well, you don't sound like Bob Marley, so it can't be reggae. You're dance hall. It's something that's close to hip hop. It's like, who made you decide what you can tell me my music sound like? What the fuck are you talking about? This is reggae. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't really make that distinction. You understand? I mean, because I still really understand why should the distinction even be there? It doesn't really make any sense to me. What's different? The process is the same. If you have an artist like, if you're Sizzla or Luciano, they record on the same jump-up rhythms and they record on the one-drop, more traditional sounding rhythms. You understand what I'm saying? So where does that really put them? They're a dancehall artist. What's Buju Banton? He's a reggae artist. He's not a dancehall. What are you talking about? They do all styles. You get what I'm saying? So it's pointless for us to try and divide it. To us, it's just reggae. The evolution of reggae, sure, we call it dancehall is a young catchphrase for it. You know what I mean? But it's still as reggae. You know?
All the recent big rhythms were, a lot of them were like going back to the roots, all the drop leaf, hard times, seasons rhythms. Do you think that's like the new
like a new trend or something?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it trend because I think they're all good, but like.
No, yeah, well, it gets popular right now. I think the people sometimes just want a break and they want to put their mind somewhere else. I mean, you know, you have like a lot of like fast, up-tempo, clubby sounding reggae or dancehall music, just not really talking about much. You know, talk about dancing and dance moves in the club and stuff like that. I think after a while people just kind of turn. That music is always there now. Sometimes it's not as popular, but those artists always exist and they're always there. You know what I'm saying? It's not really like them guys just making like one song every now and again. Yeah, it got very trendy recently to listen back to like a lot of that kind of more slow down tempo, one drop stuff. And, you know, it was embraced very well across the world as well, you know what I'm saying? And because, again, it suits what people's traditional thinking of what reggae should sound like to them, you understand what I mean? And they really embrace it. But by the same token, I mean, how you know what we're really talking about here. Yeah, the world embrace it, but at the same token, you know, my artist doesn't do music like that necessarily, and I can sell lots of records across the world. He's popular and people like him same way. It doesn't really prove that any one form or any one style is no better embraced by anybody. It's just like what they feel to do. I know the kid that produced that music, Don Corleone. He's a good friend of mine. He just got sick of making the up-tempo shit. Him personally, he just got bored. He just say, yo, I'm gonna make a one drop, you know, fuck it. And so he just made something slow and nice. It to us, it's like our R&B music, put it that way. And like how to hip-hop has R&B is like the softer side of the black urban music. That one drop, reggae sounding, slow tempo stuff is like our R&B listening then. When we don't want to be into the hardcore, Bounty Killer, Vibes Cartel, and we put on nice, soothing, and, you know, listen, it's like, that's how we kind of see it. You know what I mean? That's our cool down, our chill music to listen to them inside the box of reggae. That it's our, you know, downtime music. That's how we see it. You know?
Yeah, is it true that there is a hatred against homosexuals and stuff in Jamaica?
Jamaican culture.
Maybe it's a cliche, but I was just like...
No, I'll address it. Jamaican culture, typically they do have a very strong sense of homophobia in the culture of Jamaica, right? I don't want to pretend to tell you what the root of it is. There's a lot of things about sexual repression, right, in a lot of these Caribbean countries. They also have a very big problem with oral sex, for example. Okay? Because they see it as a demeaning act, right? So they're like, a guy cannot go down on a girl. It's a demeaning act. It's wrong. It's evil. It's dirty. It's nasty. It's disgusting. Same way back. And homosexuality just comes under that catalog of those demeaning sexual acts. That's how they put it. Now, people have told me that they say a lot of the oral sex phenomenon is because of a thing to do with slaves and slave masters forcing slaves to perform sexual acts on them. I don't know how far it goes, right? But yeah, as a culture, they're extremely homophobic. And so what happens is that it manifests itself in the music. Now, not to say that you do have obviously a gay community in Kingston, in Jamaica and all over, just like anywhere else in the world, you understand? My perspective is different. I grew up abroad. I used to play house music in clubs. I mean, I don't have time to be prejudiced against gay people or nothing. Or it's bullshit to me. You understand what I'm saying? And you have a few people that might think that way too. But by and large, a musical community, because this is something which is inbred into society, especially in the ghetto, they tend to play on it a lot. So what happens is that if an artist doesn't have a hit song, you understand? And he's on a stage, and here's the people, and he's on a crowd, and he's doing his music, and nobody's responding. He plays on the homophobia of the audience. Them say, yo, everybody who don't like Batman, put 2 hands in the air. And then everybody's like, yeah, we don't like gays. And they do that. So they play on that, so the artist automatically, he gets like, you understand, some reaction. So he's like, oh, fuck, that works. So if I just keep making more records like that, they can't deny those records. Because if they dare deny the record, that's like them admitting that they're gay. You see how it works? So they go through this bullshit, and it's garbage. They're anti-homophobic, but then like Versace and that's their favorite designer. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't really make any sense. They embrace so many things around them that are considered part of gay culture, might be created by gays or whatever, but then they want to go, yo, Star, Bun Out and Ray and this and... It's stupid, but they do it because they get a reaction from the people all the time, so they keep making these kind of records. Now, when they get this whole backlash, what starts to happen is this. They used to make records and they use words figuratively. Like when you make a sound system record, you can say, kill a sound boy. It didn't literally mean kill him, they meant kill him with music. You understand? When I started making these records about, let me tell you, because not as homophobia, you know. Like somebody who's a thief in Jamaica too, they have that same resentment towards them. You know what I'm saying to you? It's like a whole list of rules. If you do oral sex, right, that's a no-no. If you're gay, that's a no-no. If you're a thief, that's a no-no. Big thing. A guy will be a murderer and get more respect than being a thief. A thief is like, you understand? You could be like a bad man, a shutter, murderer, and they will say, yeah man, respect my youth. I'm a man, a gunman, still gangster, kill enough youth. You understand? If you're a thief, yo, the blood clot teeth and what, they hate you. You know what I'm saying? They have that kind of village justice thing you see in the newspaper all the while. They catch a thief in the crowd and they beat the guy to death. And the police come and he's dead in the middle of the road. Why? Oh, they steal 2 orange from that. They hate it. You understand? And the crowd, you know, mob violence. And they have that mentality. So with the whole homophobic thing, they start to take it past the figurative speech and start to get so literal with it, with the records. So they're not talking about, yeah, you know, born a Batman, born meaning fire, Batman gay. You understand? No, it starts to get, you know, chop them up, hang them up, kill them with the AK, do this, that. Then that's when the gay rights groups are like, okay, what are you doing? You can't make records like this. You're advocating violence towards, you understand, a group of people. No, we just mean it figuratively. Dude, you're telling them to hang them, shoot them with the AK in the middle of their head. You're giving instructions. This is not like figurative speech anymore, like, yeah, we just don't like them, so yeah, burn them, you know, like throw the fire on them, whatever. No, you're really taking it to a next level. You know what I mean? And they have every right to protest it. You see what I'm saying? Now, the thing in Jamaica is that the artists are trying to make this issue about, well, it's freedom of speech and we can do what we want to do. It's like, dude, yeah, but you're advocating violence. And I'm not telling you, they're not saying to you that you must embrace the lifestyle. But the violence is wrong. You want to make a record and say, you know, I don't agree with the gay people, I stick to the girls, that's fine. When you make records telling how to kill people, now you're advocating violence. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the point that they have, which are like, this is ridiculous. So you know what? We're going to protest every show. We're not going to give you visas. You can't come perform here because you're inciting violence against another sector of people. You understand? And the whole thing is ridiculous. So, I mean, that's really to the point where it reached that they had to try and clamp it down. Some artists just view it as like it's a waste of time. Why bother make these records anymore? Okay, everybody knows, yeah, Jamaica's a homophobic society, which probably means that you have a very large gay community there struggling to get out. This is why everybody's so fucking paranoid about it. You know, every little thing, if a guy says, yo, nice shirt, yo, you're a faggot, whoa. Yo, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, dude, no, I'm just telling you your shirt's nice. Calm down. Like, you know what I mean? So then clearly, you understand, you have problems with your own sexuality. Why do these things offend you so much? Why you're the first one to say, yo, that Batman star, I'm sitting down too close to me on the couch. Why? It's a mentality, you know what I mean? So they've been trying to encourage the artists to listen. You know what? For the sake of your hardcore ghetto credibility or whatever, I know you're never going to get up there and admit that this is rubbish, but you don't need to make songs like this talking about killing other people. You understand? That don't make no fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? And if the only way you're going to learn is to take it out of your pocket, then that's what you're going to have to do. So a lot of them are just like, all right, you know what? Fuck it then. We just won't even really discuss that topic. They might have their own personal view about it. That's your personal view. But advocating violence towards the next set of people, that's wrong. That's just plain fucking wrong. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? That can't make any sense. They know the position, they know the point. And you're only doing it because you cannot be creative enough to make other songs for people to like. So you're trying to make a song that must get instant, you understand, approval because you're preying on the homophobic nature of your audience that they must look because they have to like the record. If they can say, I don't like that record. Why? Are you gay? Why don't you like the record? You know what I mean? We don't like gays, remember, right? Good. So yeah, we love that record. All right. Yeah, we love that record. And they play on that fact. And that's it's a cop-out. Stupid. You don't need to make records out anymore. You know?
Right. Whoa, hey. That was a good explanation for that phenomenon. And man, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thanks, Adam.
Appreciate it. And